जयपुर वाया कोटा।
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad को 50 एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो.
You have arrived at your destination. The platform will be on the left of the carriage. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Hello and welcome. This is Cricbuzz Live, the curtain raiser. For some strange reason, I was told to address you like I am a railway announcement. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm generally just off the rails. Maybe that's the reason. But I have with me my two engines. I'm, of course, the bogie behind them. I'm Gaurav Kapur, and with me, Mr. Harsha Bhogle, Mr. Joy Bhattacharya. Hello and welcome to Clapham.
I am very happy to be present at the platform.
Very nice. This is the greatest platform.
Exactly, and I only want to say one thing, that if you ever studied in engineering college,
you lost me there.
Okay, so engineering bogie concept is that if you sit for competitive exams after that, say entrance exams, so one guy is the engine in front, and all the rest of the bogies are back. I was always a bogie. I was never an engine, I can promise you.
One second.
I was very worried because if you studied engineering, and I said, oh, I studied too.
You did study. Were you the engine or the bogie?
I don't remember. I was only the bogie.
No, I think 100% was the engine.
He was engine. Good boy.
100%
Bet,
good
good
student.
bet.
You know, he's one of those who was the class topper and now pretends like he was the vagabond at the back. You know.
I hope none of my batchmates are listening to this. They'll die laughing, saying, देखो अपने आप को क्या समझ के बोल रहा है मुझे.
नहीं, पर आप तो बोल ही नहीं रहे ना, हम बोल रहे हैं.
कोई बात
हम तो आप पे एक्यूजेशन लगा रहे हैं कि आप जो दिखाते हैं वो सच है नहीं.
अच्छा, पहले ट्रेन आई,
हाँ.
फिर इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेड आया, आईपीएल कब आएगी?
अब आ गया. Here it is. We have arrived. Of course, this is, I have trained with the two of them, so that's why I'm very happy. And this, of course, is the best platform, Cricbuzz. That's all the jokes that I
Well
had.
played.
I'm
Well
done.
played.
Thank
That is
you.
a good
I'm
one.
done.
Best platform, Cricbuzz.
Yeah.
Raised next year.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show. We'll see you tomorrow before the first ball. All right, what are we doing here today? We're going to talk about all 10 teams. That's right. There's 10 teams that are playing. In case you didn't watch last year, there are 10 teams.
You suddenly realized last year were 10.
Yeah. Sir, अगर देखा ना हो आपने last year या बहुत time निकल गया हो, 10 महीने निकल गए,
Counting.
शायद आपको पता ना हो, 10 टीमें, 8 नहीं है, 10 टीमें. Gujarat Titans won last year. They're the defending champions. Now we've given you the givens of the mathematical problem. Now we shall move ahead. But of course, there are new things that are happening in the new season. What are they? Here is a screen with a lot of words, which Mr. Joy Bhattacharya will now read out.
It's even longer than his questions.
Yeah, correct it is.
So yeah, home and away returns after 3 years, which is true. I mean, after 2018, that auction, 2019, after that it all went. So
Correct.
home season, the other thing which is interesting is that for the first year you're seeing actually teams losing players to international fixtures as well.
Yeah.
And of course, playing 11, 2 sets of team sheets, 5 substitutes. The impact player is a big, big one. No ball and wide decisions, I think, is something everyone will agree on. That's a good one. And teams to be reprimanded with fielding restrictions if they don't bowl their overs in stipulated time. I think that's a very clear thing, which I think will be a very difficult one to use. But
Yeah.
I'll be interested in seeing how.
Especially in Chennai. And if they have an afternoon game, then
because
you're in
what
trouble if
is-
you're bowling first.
What is stipulated time? Because they moved the starts in some cases from 8 o'clock to 7:30.
Yeah.
It still ends at the same time.
Correct, it does.
So what is stipulated time?
I think the stipulated time is what, 80 minutes per innings?
80 minutes.
So
Plus
it's meant
5
to be.
minutes of the,
Correct.
the
It's meant to be.
strategic timeout.
It's meant to be, but when they finally, it's like the relaxations after the budget is announced.
Yeah.
They add one relaxation, another relaxation, and just before the finance bill is to be passed, they'll say debt funds to be treated like fixed deposits. बस बोल दिया मैंने.
दर्द.
हाँ,
ये जो
दर्द.
दर्द है ना, ये
हाँ,
सर का
बहुत
दर्द है
दर्द.
ना जो,
हाँ.
ये बड़ा यहाँ से आया ये वाला. Mutual funds में टैक्स आ गया है.
But just put that list again. There's a couple in there that are very interesting.
Yeah.
Teams can review no balls and wides. Now, I did the WPL where they had to review the wide, and it created loads of controversy because there's a ball tracking system, right? The ball tracker comes in and judges whether it was above waist high or no. Now, a couple of times when that ball tracker came in, the ball tracker comes, the ball's going here, but the bat is here. That means the contact was made here, so the ball couldn't have been here. So when I see that ball tracker, I want to see when the ball dips in its natural trajectory. At the point of impact, it has to merge with the bat. So I'd like to see that happening. The one time it worked very well in the WPL was when an umpire called it a wide.
Yeah.
And the batter just smiled and said, "The bat ko laga tha."
Yeah.
Now, the bowler also knows it hit the bat. The batter also knows it hit the bat, but the umpire is called wide.
Yeah.
Now, how do you remedy that situation? They use the DRS. And everybody was so happy that they used the DRS. So, in those cases where there's been an inside edge or there's been a pad and you call it wide, it will work very well. But I'm not sure how it will work when on those tram lines, how much has a batter moved? So, therefore, how far outside off stump can you go? These are some things that the umpire watching there sometimes has a better idea. So,
yeah,
wait and see.
I think, you look at some, like I looked at the Lucknow jersey last year and I asked the question, how much design is too much design, right? That way.
They've changed it this year.
Yeah, they have, thankfully. They've brought it down a bit. But with some rules, you look at them and say, how much innovation is too much innovation?
So
Right?
that's why I said, if there's an inside edge or a pad, sometimes it goes off the pad, the umpire calls it wide and everyone says, ye kya ho gaya? So from that point of view, it's good, but they'll have to be very careful about using it for height and for those outside off stump kind of.
So again, just like DRS for LBW, if it takes the howlers out of the game, I guess you're good, right? That's what all these rules come for.
So you only have 2 reviews.
Yeah.
One of, if you use a review for a wide and you lose, that's 1 review gone. So it's not that this is in addition to the review. So you've got to use those 2 reviews.
Ah, I did not know that, by the way.
Yeah, so it's a tactical call.
Oh,
Where
I
are you
thought
going
that
to use
there's
it?
2 aside of the 2 that you get for just wide
It's
and
part
wide.
of the 2.
Oh, so I guess this is then just to counter what happened with Delhi, right? In that game last year or the season before with Robin Powell?
Robin Powell, yeah.
When he was slamming the ball everywhere and they said, oh, it's above waist height. But anyway.
It happens to Delhi. It happened to Shafali Verma in the WPL as well.
Yeah.
Always happens to Delhi.
Problem is Delhi, sir. Delhi is the problem. Delhi is the seat of all problems of the world.
So
What
आप
to do,
क्यों
sir?
दिल्ली से हैं?
Huh?
आप क्यों दिल्ली से?
Sir, because that's where the problems come from. And then they are spread everywhere, like in Mumbai now. But the other rule that we definitely want to talk about, and we have, at least I have no qualms in saying that I have no understanding about, which is why I have the village elders, the sensible, smart, educated, good students who will explain to us the impact rule. समझाइए सर impact player क्या होता है?
I think they tried the impact player in the Mushtaq Ali, but there they had a rule that up to the first 14 overs only you can use the impact player, not after that.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of implications. But now the captain will carry 2 teams out.
Okay, एक batting first, एक bowling.
Bowling first. So the importance of the impact rule has got diluted a little, because initially when this impact player rule came in, you thought, I'm in trouble if only I had a 12th player, if I could substitute.
Yeah.
So you could say, okay, I'll bowl out 1 bowler for 4 overs in the first 10 and I'll put another bowler in. Or maybe the team that I picked, it wasn't right, so I can use it. Now you take a batting team out that's full of, one team out that's full of batters. You take 1 team out that's got extra bowler. And depending on what happens at the toss, you say, yeah. No, yeah. And you take out a batter, put in a bowler. You take out a bowler, put in a batter. So I think the tactical element might go out. I'd be very curious to see how they use it. But I think the tactical element might go out this year.
So you're still giving, the team sheet still has 11 players, but 5 possible substitutes.
Yes.
Right?
So there are 2 important things. One is the 5 possible substitutes, but the other one is when they give it. So I can carry 2. What he's saying is, that part of it is not talked about. People are talking about the impact play, but the fact is that I can carry 2 separate 11s whether I'm batting or bowling, and then hand the right one. And that for me is as important a decision as the impact player is.
Yeah.
Probably even more.
Yeah, because that's a big one. That, okay, I'm fielding, this is the team I'm going to play.
Yeah.
And that's one big one there. The other thing is that they had super subs, if you remember in 2006, 5-6, they tried it and they took it away. And Harsha, why did they take it? I think it was because they were stuck.
Because you had to give the teams before the toss. So the team that won the toss had a huge advantage in how they could use the super sub. The team that lost the toss, now they couldn't use the super sub. They were stranded. They couldn't use the super sub to their advantage.
Yeah.
So that is why that super sub rule went away. This is something that they used in the SA20 as well.
Yeah.
That you come out with 2 teams. I think at the heart of it all is that the best 11 plays against the best 11. Effectively, this is 12 players playing.
Yeah.
At any given time, only 11 can bat.
But in SA T20, they just had you could give the team after the toss. They didn't have an impact player.
No, they didn't
They didn't have a substitution possibility. So here there's both.
See, there's one other reason they're doing it, because if you notice every year in the IPL, you'll see this teams chasing win for a huge amount of time till the odds catch up with them. And this, I think, will change it.
You know, Venki Mysore gave a very good example of a game between involving KKR the other day, where I think Rinku Singh was hitting big runs at the end. They needed 19-20 of the last over. He got 14-15, he got out. 2 balls left. Umesh Yadav comes in with 4 to win and got bowled. Now, if the sub rule was used, the impact player rule existed, and they hadn't used the sub by then, they could have actually sent out a batter to play those last 2 balls when you needed 4.
Yeah.
So that is where the sub rule can be used better.
I know, but it's just, I don't know, is it required? Like, I'm thinking as a fan, and I'm thinking, all right, there's one more complication, right? I like the idea when, obviously, this is how cricket has been played, right? With just 11 players, and you choose the ones you choose, and you go. And I feel like it's diluting the impact players who exist in the 11 already, right? When you have all-rounders, somebody who can bowl 4 overs, somebody who can bat. You have Andre Russell, Hardik Pandya, Ravindra Jadeja. These are proper impact players.
Or there'll be days when you've got a bowler who's injured and gone, and you've got to get 3 overs out of somebody. Now the captain is thinking, shall I slip one in the 7th? Or some guy rises to the occasion and says, I'll bowl 2 overs. And that element in the game will now go out. Now it's interesting, I put out a Twitter poll this morning.
Yeah.
Saying, does it make the game more interesting or more complicated?
Yeah.
And 65% said more complicated.
Yeah, I was one of them. I voted in that poll as well. I said it's too complicated.
But here's my point. My point is that you're right. What they're effectively trying to do is the game that's mainly played here on the field, they're making a lot of this game now being played outside before.
Okay, yeah.
And allowing a lot more decision making to happen before. Because now, if I know batting, bowling and everything is decided, why they've done it, I understand. They wanted to release the power of the toss. They wanted to reduce that power.
Okay, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They also wanted to reduce one more thing. A pitch that suddenly seems to play differently from when you thought it went.
Okay.
So you walk into it and you think that, okay, this pitch is going to play, and you've got it really wrong. Then you suddenly say, okay, I've got both a spinner, I've got a spinner backup, a fast bowler backup, 2 batting backups. So I can decide now, okay, I'm going to play that extra spinner, get him out.
So you can also, it allows the best to play against the best. So I thought it was interesting. So you go to Chennai. There's no dew that day, suppose. Team batting first makes 140, 145. The pitch is getting slower and slower and slower. So you want that extra spinner in your side, but you only have 2.
Yeah.
Take out a batter, get in a spinner. Chawla, Amit Mishra, one of these spinners type. And so you got a 3rd spinner to play in Chennai. It takes away a little bit of that home advantage that, say, teams like Chennai enjoy.
Good point. Okay.
The other thing it will do is prolong the careers of guys who are specialist bowlers like that.
Yeah.
Like Amit Mishra. You wake him up at 2 o'clock and ask him to bowl his 4 overs, he'll do
come
it
and
for
bowl
you.
4 overs.
Yeah.
And take wickets also. He's got piles of wickets. So somebody like him, you're thinking, can I carry him for 20 overs?
So I guess if we were to just kind of wrap this up in terms of impact player, the rule, 3 benefits that you see. One is it kind of reduces the importance of the toss or the kind of impact that the toss had started having on the result.
Yes.
B, the pitch as well, if the pitch is changing character. And the third is it kind of reduces the home advantage a little bit. So,
But only Indian players.
yeah, correct.
Your sub cannot be an overseas
Only
player
a foreign
unless
player.
you started with 3.
Yeah, if you started with 3, then it can be a foreign player. All right, so there you go. It was complicated till 5 minutes ago, but now suddenly it makes sense, doesn't it? That's why I come here. I come here to learn. It is like a school for me. Yes, but no exams. That's the best part. All right, but there are going to be 10 teams that are going to be severely tested. What we'll do is we'll run through all 10 of them, and we will run through them in the order that they finished last year. So I think that's just easy, non-controversial. Otherwise, Harsha will say, why is Hyderabad not here? Joel will say, why is Kolkata not here?
And
So I said, I'm just going to do
the
it.
3rd guy?
I'm neutral, sir. I'm neutral. I like all 10 teams. I, in fact, even like some of the teams that don't exist anymore. Like all of them. So we're going to start with the defending
He
champions.
loves Deccan Chargers.
GD. Sorry?
I said he loves Deccan Chargers. I didn't know.
Yeah, I love all of them.
Well
You
played.
know what? I like their color. The color of their jersey I used to really like. I'm a nice person. I like not the first season though.
Was it there?
First season was the
Charge. That's a funny song, remember?
go.
Go. Something like that. It was terrible.
Yeah, something like that. Actually, when we talk about terrible songs, I think that 90% of them are just like ear sores.
There were some really bad ones,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, but music to the ears of GT fans is that the defending champions are looking in good form. They don't have too many concerns, too many people missing. Let's have a look at their squad. And they've had one or two really good additions. I think the one that we must talk about is Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson coming into the team. Love the fact that they got him at a great price. They could fit him in. He's there. He has done what he's done. We don't need to kind of, जैसे वो हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, सूरज को प्रमाण देने वाली बात है. But Kane Williamson there. If a Kane Williamson bats at number 3, does it free up Hardik Pandya, the batter, who was pretty much doing that in the previous season?
I think he'll still have to bat at 4, but I think they will use Williamson carefully.
Yeah.
So you're playing at RCB, you're playing in Chennaswamy,
Yeah,
you're
you will
playing
not-
at
you're not gonna play him
1KD.
there.
You'll play Matthew Wade
Mm.
and say, just go and bang. Just imagine Shaheen Afridi is bowling the 19th over. Go and play.
Yeah.
Sorry, all Pakistan viewers. Sorry, ho jata hai, nikal jata hai kabhi.
Yeah.
But you're playing in Chennai or you're playing in Jaipur. I don't know the tracks in Jaipur are going to be like, but you're playing a 150, 160 game. And
Kane is
you've got Pandya, you've got Tewatia, you've got Miller, you've got all these guys at the end. You want someone to build that and take you to where you can erupt. Who better than Williamson? I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to be one of the hits of this year's IPL.
Yeah?
I don't know. It's just, there's no logic to it. His numbers aren't great.
Yeah.
In the IPL since 2022, 19.6, that strike rate isn't great. His numbers aren't great. But I don't know. I just think he's far too good a player. On those Chennai kind of pitches, he'll be perfect.
Yeah, and again, when you look at their 11, a possible 11 for them, right? We look at the bowlers that they have. There's Mohammad Shami. Something happened last year, right? When you look at their team, it was almost like a team of misfits, right? People who other teams did not want. And they've all excelled. They all got optimized. They all did far better than they've done in the previous team. So obviously something happened there that unlocked that potential. And there's, going into it, if you look, there's Abhinav Manohar. Apparently he's hitting the ball pretty hard. There's Vijay Shankar. He's been in good form. Sai Sudarshan.
And a sensational season.
Yeah. And they've picked up some really interesting people in this year's auction as well.
Even Joshua Little, I think, has got a place to play. Definitely got a place to play. I have one point though. The team that Gujarat played last year is like literally once in a 15 years. The first 2 years happened in the 15 years. Where year one you had a situation where they played really, really well. Okay, how do you do this well? And my point is that everyone played well. Miller played well. Okay, Hardik played brilliantly.
Yeah.
Riddhiman played well. Shubman did his part. Shami got early breakthroughs. Tewatia did, won the 2 games that he's supposed to win.
Rashid was Rashid.
The script was right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you get the script right? How many times do you say that 6 out of my 6 bets all came off?
Yeah. They had different player of the matches. Yeah. They had 8 different players.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what you want. I keep saying it's an ensemble cast. Teams of 1 or 2 stars never win the IPL. It's an ensemble cast. But there's a reason this year they are stronger. Last year their top 4 was struggling.
Yeah.
Very similar top 4, but Shubman Gill's a different batter this year. So he's a more experienced player. His T20 record is far better this year than it was last year. They've made some interesting changes. They've let go Lockie Ferguson.
Yeah.
You haven't spoken to your friend about why he let go Lockie Ferguson, right? He said, "Sare Bombay mein hote to lag leta main." He said, "Sare Bombay mein nahi hai."
Yeah.
So why do I need a fast bowler to take 10 crores of my money when all the games are not in Mumbai?
Yeah.
So what has he done? He's gone and picked Alzari Joseph. I think he had Alzari last year.
He had
He's gone
Alzari,
and picked Josh Little.
Yeah.
You can do
But
it.
who did they pay money for? They paid money for Shivam Mavi. Why have they paid money for Shivam Mavi? That's the critical buy. Because will Shami give you 14 games again? What if Shami can't give you 14 games? They need another fast bowler there. They've got Shivam Mavi.
Yeah.
What if they don't want to play the overseas fast bowler that's Alzari Joseph?
Yeah.
Play both Mavi and Shami, and then you can play that. They've got this cute Afghan leggy
Noor?
called Noor Ahmed, because if you're playing on that track, that leaves you free to play that fellow.
Yeah.
So Mavi can come as a replacement for Shami. He can come in as a replacement for Alzari and give that balance. So I think it's a very clever. What they've done is very clever.
Yeah. Hardik, of course,
and he bowls. Last year he didn't bowl that much. So now suddenly you've got 3-4 overs from Hardik every game.
Yeah, and opening bowler as well, bowling 135, 140.
Swinging the ball.
Yeah, swinging the ball. So again, there you go. You see his bowling and his batting. This is as captain in T20s. Now, what has happened is that GT's kind of given a gift to Indian cricket, haven't they? Because 14 months ago, when he was named as captain, people were like, do they know what they're doing? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You sure? Today, this guy is touted as the white ball captain for India. How things have changed, right?
Absolutely. And the point has been proven.
Yeah.
The point has been proven that he's capable of three things. Everyone knew that he was an explosive batsman. Was he capable of giving enough overs? I think he has done it in the internationals when he's needed to. And was he capable of leading a side?
Yeah.
And consistency. It's not that they've come from behind. 10 out of 14 wins. I mean, 10 out of 14 wins in the league stage tells you exactly what a team they were. And that's my only problem with this team. That can they play at the level that they played last year? Because everyone played at a level. Miller has not had a season like that since 2014.
Yeah.
So all those things in 1 year's sub chocolate food guy. What? So this year, how many of those need to explode for them to do well? So I think they'll do well, but to win it again would be amazing.
Which are the teams who've done it before? Well, there's only two teams that have won it back to back, Chennai and Mumbai. Chennai did it in 2010 and 11, and then Mumbai did it in 19 and 20. Right? So there you go. Can they do it 2 years in a row? Well, GT.
There's one other guy. I met him last year.
Yeah.
I said, "आप bowling नहीं कर रहे हो?" He said, "Sir, रोज मैं 1 घंटा bowling करता हूँ. Match में मुझे देते नहीं है."
Yeah.
Which is Tewatia.
Yeah.
This year in Mushtaq Ali, 8 matches, 14 wickets, economy 6.5.
There you go.
Now suddenly you're going to a place where you needed this extra spin bowler. Who's putting his hand up? मैं bowling करता हूँ.
सर एक बात बताऊं आपको, ये इम्पैक्ट रूल तो आ गया है. इनकी टीम में कितने इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर्स हैं?
बहुत हैं.
Right?
So this team succeeded because they had impact players.
There you go. So sometimes you look at this rule and you go, okay, maybe it will not benefit. This rule will not excite people who already have impact players.
Not as much.
Right.
Not this team at all.
Yeah. But there you go. All right. There are chances to make the playoff. चलिए trophy की बात तो हम नहीं कर रहे. We're not going as far as that.
Keepers. 3 international keepers in the side.
That's right. So what is it? So we've got, okay, so this is it. We do thumbs up for if they can make the playoffs. We do fingers crossed if we think it's unlikely. And
Not fingers crossed. We hope. We think they have a chance.
you think they have a chance?
He's getting ready for something that's coming later.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
And what's the third one? Third one is down.
Getting ready for
Thumbs
something.
down. Thumbs down, yeah.
Harsha,
Thumbs down is too harsh.
He's getting ready for something coming later.
Okay. तो चलिए बताइए क्या है? That's it? Are you going 3 thumbs up? What are you?
No. I'm saying fingers crossed. I mean, I'm not sure.
You're saying, interesting. So you're saying not a sure thing
No, I
for
don't
the
think
top
it's a sure
4.
thing, because I feel too many of them have performed too well for them to reach there. I think the sophomore curse, I call it.
Sophomore course. Okay, fair enough. Which is the second season. The second season.
हाँ ये इसी ने बोला था हमको इसलिए मुझे भी पता है वो sophomore curse and all.
That's right. So, because when you go to university, you are a freshman, and then you're a sophomore,
Yeah.
and you're a junior, and then you're a senior.
And then you
Is that
search for
correct?
jobs and come back to India and look for a job here.
That's right.
Or think about your $400,000 student debt.
That's
that
right.
too.
And your 401k. That's it. I'm done. That's all the movies I've watched. So I don't know any other terms. All right, let's go to team number 2 from last year, which is Rajasthan. That's right. They got to the final, but of course couldn't get across the line. Can they do it this year? Let's have a look at their squad. Sanju Samson, of course, still their captain. They've still got the spin twins in there, but they've picked up a few players as well. Added to the spin twins, they've got Zampa as well. If you look at the fact that the number of spinners they have and the quality of spinners they have, fair to say it's going to be a turning track at Jaipur?
There's that impact player down there, right at the bottom, guy called Donovan Ferreira. He just comes in and he'll get 20 from 9. If he scores 30, he'll get it in 14. He might be that player. If he could have bowled a little bit more, they wouldn't have needed Jason Holder. But the reason they've brought Jason Holder into that side is their side was very clear. 6 batters, 5 bowlers.
No.
Never the
5 batters, 5 bowlers, and Rayan Parag.
So,
The glue
The glue.
that holds it together.
you know, this year, I worked a little bit with Sangakkar. I said that on the previews. And I said, just have a word with Rayan Parag. He should be a player first. And he said the message to him is very clear. Go back to first-class cricket, bowl a lot, and bat up. So after that, I started following every game that Assam did. I checked the scorecards. He's batting at 4. He scored a decent number of runs, but he was bowling 25, 30 overs per game.
Wow.
And they've said, we want you as that all-rounder. After 4 years, you can't be averaging 13.
Yeah.
So they want those overs out of him. And so they will back him at 6 only if he gives them those overs.
I feel like the impact player rule will benefit them a lot.
Absolutely, because last year they were very clear, you do your job, and this year they need that because they don't have Prasidh Krishna. See, last year they had that second fast bowler. Prasidh Krishna is out for the season, which means Kuldeep Sen will have to, carry much more on him. And if you look at the other players, the interesting one for me, one is Jason Holder, which means obviously moving away from that formula, having some sort of a bit more flexibility. What do all-rounders give you? They give you a bit more flexibility. What's happening? The other interesting one is Joe Root, because Joe Root is a very interesting player. Again,
He's Dev Williamson.
He's there, exactly. Chennai.
Yeah.
130, 140, 150 track. He'll go in and then
Who
play.
does he play for?
Yeah.
Who does he play for? If they play 4 overseas players, I've got Butler, I've got Hetmeyer, I've got Holder, and I've got Bolt.
Yeah.
So if we can play in place of Holder,
Only Holder.
play in place of
But
Holder,
plays in place of Holder, and
but then you don't have bowlers.
because he bowls as well, right?
and then use a sub to take Jaiswal out,
Yeah.
or Padikkal out,
Yeah.
and get an Indian sub in,
Yeah.
and get that person as the 5th bowler.
But
then they can
but the advantage of Joe Root is that if you're batting him on slower tracks, he bowls and uses those conditions well as well.
hungry.
Yeah.
He's waited years to get into the IPL and do well.
Yeah, and if he gets a chance, but let's talk about the captain. Let's talk about Sanju Samson, because Sanju Samson, again, we talk about him so much. Great batter to look at, and every time you feel like, oh, yeah, he's been given. He's not actually had a long run in India colours, right? And earlier, when was that when he got injured, where you thought that, oh, he's in the squad now and he should get a chance, and then he got injured and he was out again. So is this one of those, he's looking at this and saying, all right, this really is a good opportunity, because a good IPL here, we've got 2 World Cups coming up in the next 16 months. There's a 50 over and a 20 over.
He should be in every Indian T20 team for a start.
Yeah.
I've long maintained that the batting side that didn't go to the T20 World Cup was better than the batting side that went to the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
But Sanju Samson is aware that there is one spot available in the 50 over World Cup team.
Yeah.
What Sanju Samson, in my view, needs is what Saurav Ganguly told Yuvraj Singh. He said, I'm giving you 10 games.
Yeah.
At the end of 10 games, I will check where you are. So out of those 10, if you won me 3 or 4, that's enough for me, but I'm giving you 10 games. He needs a captain who will tell him, I'm giving you 10 games. I will assess you at the end of 10, but I will not say, I'm playing Sanju Samson, but I'll bat him at 6.
Yeah.
Or I'm playing Sanju Samson, but I'll bat him somewhere else. No, I back you and I'll give you that much. I'll give you that much time.
Yeah. Where would you like to see him bat here then,
3.
with the Royals?
Here, 3.
Yeah.
Here, maybe that number 4 slot. We're back to number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. Number 4 is still open.
Sir, on the Hindi show, we call it Char Ka Achar.
It's still open for the 50 over World Cup.
Char Ka Atyachar. It's back. How can we be back here every 4 years? The same problem. It's like, you know how they make buildings and there's no number 13? 13th floor? They just make a 12 now and just 1, 2, 3, 5. Which is going... let's also talk about Chahal. Chahal, purple cap winner.
No, absolutely. And I think the other thing is that what happens if you go to a Chennai and they find a way to play Zampa, Ashwin and Chahal together?
Yeah.
Because you could, with the substitutes now, you could turn up, do that and say that I'll bring Chahal only as a bowler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Play a bat, bring Chahal only as a bowler.
He'll be very upset to hear you say that.
yeah, I know.
Very upset because he fancies himself at number
Fancies
9.
himself as a bat. But
9 or
anyway,
10,
yes.
But think of it, 3 of those, it's a mouth-watering prospect which has now opened up,
Yeah.
which would never have been possible without the impact player rule.
Interesting. Well, again with Chahal, he has these seasons and then he plays every game building up to a World Cup, which happens every year now. And then he doesn't play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But this year, my theory is that they're playing Kuldeep over him in all the India games. So therefore, in the World Cup, they'll play Chahal.
You know, in the
Keep confusing us.
in all those big Hindi movies, there are always 2 brothers,
Yeah.
and the mother had to take a call and we say bhai, bhai, and the script would adjust so that the 2 bhais are always locked in conflict with each other.
Yeah.
But there was a mother and there were 2 bhais. Chahal and Kuldeep are like those 2 bhais.
Yeah.
Who's the mother?
No. But I mean, I just brought that in because in the Hindi movies. But when they played together, they played fantastic. But because neither bats, you had to play Jadeja. Now suddenly you can only pick one of the 2.
Yeah.
And Kuldeep is bowling beautifully.
Yeah.
Every game Kuldeep says, वो ना यूजी भाई ने मेरे को मदद की जब मैं डाउन था इसलिए मैं ले रहा हूँ. And यूजी saying after a while, मुझे भी तो खेलना है. But it's a big game. It's a big year for him, and he's one of the great IPL players.
Yep. With this team, though, I don't know. I feel, for me, it's fingers crossed with them for their chances because it's just too stark. I think the game has moved ahead from this 6 batters, 5 bowlers kind of setup. You need some all-rounders in the middle in this format because it's evolving so much. So that's why I've got them as.
I don't know how Hetmar will play because he's
Yeah,
ditched his
again,
pink hair.
that's what I'm saying.
He's ditched his pink hair too.
But my problem again was that you had superlative. I feel Sanju Samson can bat at that level consistently because he gave about 450 odd runs. I think he's there.
in good form, no?
Jaiswal's also in good
Yashasvi is in very good form.
But those two, Joss Butler and Hetmar, the way they played last year, to play that year on year like that, because they had outstanding seasons.
850 runs, Butler.
I figure Sanju Samson has to play at 3, but they won't be able to play him at 3. And then, of course, there's going to be the 6 plus 5. So that's why I've got them. What have you got them as?
I've got them as this. As long as they give the right flight ticket to Hetmar and he's available, then it might go like this. But otherwise, it's like this.
All of us are.
I'm a little uncertain about Rajasthan Royals. I think they've got the side like so many, but yeah. Okay, chalo.
Okay. Let's move ahead to Lucknow now. Lucknow was in 3rd position in the previous year. They've changed their jersey. I like the new one. It's nice. Yeah, the previous one was a bit of a whipping boy for me last season. But this one we like. Let's have a look at their squad. Of course, their captain is KL Rahul's got a point to prove because here is a guy who was your test captain in December, right, in Bangladesh. Suddenly, 8 weeks later, everyone's just after his head saying, oh, he shouldn't be playing. I think, and he's, again, a legit, dependable IPL batter. Yeah. He's your, 500 runs.
Yeah. 600.
600, sorry.
Goat.
He's your compulsory blind, right, with 600 runs. So there you go. Look at those. There was 2019 where he underachieved. He got 593. My God, what a bad year that was. But otherwise, look at him. Those numbers are insanity. And there's a lot of discussion about KL Rahul and strike rate, right? I mean, he's been asked questions. He's been quoted as well. But 140 in 21?
Yeah, a strike rate of 135 means you're playing what? 131. You're playing a sort of 160 kind of game.
Yeah.
Strike rate of 135, you're playing a 160 kind of game, which if you're playing on some grounds is not enough. So if he's going to strike at 135, then he can't be playing too many balls.
Yeah.
So that average, I don't mind if that average drops. I don't mind if he doesn't score 600 runs because if he scores 500 runs or 480 runs or 500 runs at a strike rate of 150, which he can because he's got very, very unique skills, he'll win more games for his side.
Fair.
And they've got the batting. Not that they don't have the batting. They've got the batting. But Rahul sometimes falls into the trap of thinking, I need to bat responsibly.
Yeah.
I need to bat well.
I think it's a curse of playing for Punjab for a while. Because Punjab, you always wonder, there's nobody behind me after this.
Short circuits, huh? Yeah. Short circuits your brain a little bit, isn't it? There's no Mohsin, right? Mohsin's injured.
Very sad story, yeah. I thought this would have been Mohsin's big year. Had blood clots in his shoulder. They were worried about whether he'll be ever able to play cricket again. But luckily, he's come back now. He's in the camp, but he's not yet bowling.
Yeah.
So I don't see him playing. In all honesty, I don't see him playing this year. I mean, last year he only played 9 games, but he was sensational. He was that one bowler who said, watch me. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's not there. And I think that leaves a big hole in that side now.
Yeah. Where do you look at that? They've bought some batters. It's looking pretty solid. Where are you batting them? Because you're opening with Rahul and Decock, right? Where are you going after that?
Puran has no. I think
you play Puran at 3.
I'd play Puran at 3 because if you've got to play Puran and he's going to be explosive for you, he has to play at 3. Then you have Huda, you have Pandya, Stoinis again. You float. Okay.
Let's play 6. Is Ayush playing in your team?
Not in my team really. At this point in time, from there, I'm looking at getting another bowler in. Maybe a Krishnappa Gautam because I think he's capable. He hits the big one. The big one for me here is also Mark Wood. See, remember, last year they didn't have the enforcer bowler. They got Chamira in because he was injured. Yeah. This year they have Mark Wood. Yeah. And Mark Wood and Puran are both, again, this word is now going to be this year's word, impact. Yeah. They're both bowlers who can, batsman and bowler who can make a difference. And I mean, Puran has had horrible seasons. But Gautam Gambhir is no mug. He's paid 16 crores for this guy. He knows that one season on, Puran will never be as bad as he was last season. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Okay. He wins 2 games for them. Look at the rest of the batting. You have Decock will win a couple for you. Rahul will win a couple for you. Then it's a different team altogether, which is why I'm very, very hot on this team.
I saw Decock bat the other day. I mean, there's this
285 chasing.
They chased 258.
Sorry, 258.
Yeah, they chased 258 This Johnson Charles, it's 139 balls. He's okay, I'll hit one in 40 balls, 44 balls. That is the opening partnership.
Yeah.
KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock. I think, I know I can see why Pooran at 3, but I'd still go Huda at 3 because you get a right-hander in, you get a left-hander after that. Maybe Huda Rahul.
It depends on who gets out.
Yeah. And then it'll be how last year they had Stoinis, they hardly used Stoinis.
Correct.
So I hope they use Stoinis well. But again, you talked about Badoni. That number 6 might be tricky. Number 7 is Krunal Pandya, whose batting has just gone off. I hope he's recovered from his injury because he's a good player. But I hope he recovers from his injury well enough because his batting has just dropped off a little bit. Wood is a very interesting one. Can he give you 14 games with his body? If he gives you 14 games, Australia will be celebrating wildly because he won't play the Ashes.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So that's why they've got that Romario Shepherd.
Yeah.
They've got Sams. Romario Shepherd is the world's greatest 15-ball batter.
Yeah.
He'll come at the end, he'll give you anywhere from 25 to 40 runs.
Again, good substitution situation. Great.
But you can't substitute the overseas player.
Unless you play with 3.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ravi Bishnoi because he's one of the players that obviously they got him in the draft last year. He didn't have the kind of season they would have wanted from him, but genuine talent. But seems to in the last 12 months is just kind of drifted away from the radar a bit.
I would like someone to put their arm around Ravi Bishnoi
Yeah.
and say, Bete, tumhe hai hunar. Because we were sitting in this studio. Might have been. Did he play the Asia Cup?
I think he played.
I think he played the Asia Cup.
I think he did,
The
yes.
India-Pakistan game. And we are thinking who will bowl the last 4-5 overs. And the one guy who was bowling really well was Bishnoi. And you're thinking, right, Bishnoi will bowl well. And suddenly he's bowling the difficult overs for India. And the editor cut out the rest of his scenes. Never seen again.
Yeah.
I think he's a quality player. And I think Bishnoi, Chahal, Kuldeep, these are 3 wrist spinners around whom you can build, you can pick any 2 at any given point. I only wish Bishnoi also batted. You can't have all 3 wrist spinners who don't bat.
Yeah.
But he's plus in the field.
He's a good one.
Yeah,
He's my player to watch.
No, he will only drop it if it's an easy catch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He only catches them when he has to run and dive. They come straight at him, he loses focus. Like, what is this? Boring.
But I'll tell you one thing. The other interesting thing is what I think Bishnoi had a season under Kumble when I think in Punjab.
Yes.
And I think that has made a huge difference because see, everyone used to talk about him being basically predominantly the googly bowler. He doesn't bowl the leg break at all. And somebody like a Kumble turning around and saying, son, I've taken so many international wickets with just basically not using anything else. I didn't spin the ball very much. I think a chat that has also calmed him down as a player. I think he's really capable.
I mean, I remember I was doing commentary. I said exactly what Joy said. I said he's predominantly googly bowler. I've done the build-up. It's taken a bit of time and he bowls 2 leg breaks first 2. So he started bowling leggies as well. But I have a lot of time for Bishnoi. He's one of my players to watch out for in this year's IPL.
Is the team to watch out for? What do you think? Yeah? Playoff chances?
I'm there.
Oh, there you go.
Not sure.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
Not sure.
Feeling the vibe.
Not
Just,
sure.
I know Lucknow fans are going to go, what? What's that? Analysis. I'm like, we should not feel
No, they won't say what, sir. They'll say, Ji Huzur, aapne
Ji Huzur,
ऐसे क्यों कहा?
ऐसा.
कोई गुस्ताखी तो नहीं हुई हमसे कि आप
All right, time next for RCB. That's right. Bangalore fans, stop tweeting at us. Here they come. I know Mumbai and Chennai fans, of course, we've got them waiting till the end, but it's not our fault. Now, your team finished last year. We're going by that order. So please
That was unnecessary.
stick with us till the end. But I'm just saying that's what the order is. Now, what do I do? I'm not choice in the matter, sir. Sorry. Sorry, sir. But here, there we go. With RCB. Yes? No? What? I don't know. See, I think we can just pick up what we spoke last year. We can just tell our producer to pick up exactly what we did in the curtain raiser last year and just play it out because this is just, I mean, I want them to win one trophy now. Enough. Their fans deserve it. Their fans are the most loyal fans. Their fans fill up stadiums to watch,
To watch ABD and Grail's jerseys retired, 20,000 people paid money to go and watch.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, they're crazy fans. They deserve a cup, right? What's their saying? This year the cup is ours. What is it?
Ye sara cup namde.
Yeah.
But the other side, they say, they're rivals because every time you have one side of set of fans that are very passionate,
Yeah.
they've always got a counter set
Correct.
of fans. It's like United. You always got a counter set of
Yeah.
that.
So they say come
no,
day.
no, they said maybe next year.
Oh, that's very polite though.
Yeah.
That's very polite. Can this year be their year?
Yeah, it's basically, it's either waiting for Virat or waiting for Vanindu. Given the fact that even Hasaranga and all, the Sri Lankans will miss the first 2-3 games.
Yeah, he's coming on the 8th.
Yeah, they're coming on the 8th.
Yeah, so he's going to miss a few games. Rajat Patidar, who was so good last year.
Exactly.
He's
Big
gonna
one, the
miss as
heel
well.
injury, that's a big one for them.
Yeah, so if there's...
And Hazelwood.
I know Hazelwood as well.
Hazelwood, so there you're depending. So Reece Topley is a decent bowler, very decent bowler, had a bit of a purple patch. But, I mean, that's the thing. Their composition hasn't changed, but till Hasaranga comes, that's a big hole out there. And they just need more from, again, going to Chinnaswamy. Do they now have the bowlers to defend at the Chinnaswamy? Does anyone have the bowlers to defend at the
they like
Chinnaswamy?
Chinnaswamy?
Yeah.
Here's the thing now, right? That's the shocking thing where you go home and away. Of course, they have the support over there, but the support doesn't win you the game, right? It's the ground, it's the pitch, it's the conditions. And how do they do at home? Well, not very well. Sorry, Chinnaswamy fans, but your ground is definitely not a favourite for the team.
So they've got, because I think Harshal Patel said it the other day. He said, and they're also playing 6 of their first 7 games in May, in April.
Yeah.
Because I think they got elections in May.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they front load all their home games.
I think they're playing 5 back-to-back. If I remember correct, they're playing 5 games back-to-back.
At home.
At home. So there you go. 6 out of the first 8 are happening at home, and then they go to...
and then they only have 1 afterwards.
Yeah.
6 out of the first 8 up
so
to
it's
April
not 5
26th.
home games. I don't know why I thought it was 5 in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home games till April 26th.
Yep.
And only the one right at the end in May. But Harshal Patel said something interesting. He said, if we can bowl well here, we can bowl well anywhere.
That's true.
And it's going to be a big test for Harshal Patel as well. He's lost his place in the side.
Yeah.
He took what, 20 plus wickets. He was purple cap holder.
Yep.
And it's a big one for him. But that Rajat Patidar they're going to miss desperately, because I was trying to put together 11 for them.
Who did you have? Suya?
No, I had Faf, Virat, Patidar, Maxwell, Lomror, Karthik as the top 6.
Okay.
But now suddenly there's no Patidar. So who's the Indian player other than Patidar who they can pick? And that's only Suyash Prabhu Desai or Anuj Rawat. Now, for Vanindu Hasaranga, they've got a very decent replacement in Michael Bracewell.
Yeah.
Doesn't take as many wickets but gives you more with the bat. For Hazelwood, they've got a recent replacement in Topley. But your Indian core wins you the tournament, and that Patidar miss is going to be big for them.
Yeah. But, I mean, you've got a team that's got Maxwell, Faf, Virat. Why do you need why so much discussion over an uncapped Indian player?
Because, see, whatever it is, it doesn't happen. You need those other runs. And look, you think Rajat, if you look at the other players also, Faf has had a sensational season this year.
Yeah.
He's been playing absolutely sensational. If you see the performances he had in SA T20, Big Bash, he's been doing amazing. And look at that. I mean, that record and the strike rate, just pay attention to that. I mean, 181, 163, these are serious numbers he's putting in there.
But how will Virat play?
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Virat.
Waiting for Virat. Waiting for Goda, waiting for Virat.
Because now no Patidar as well. How will he play? I think if Faf can keep playing like that, strike rate of 160, just eases everything of Virat. They need that to be the opening partnership of the tournament ahead of Rahul and Quinton de Kock.
Yeah.
Because they need that to fire. Maxwell's been a bit iffy coming out of a big injury, and Maxwell plays well when the IPL is in UAE. Slightly iffy Maxwell. Then who do they have after that? Number 5 is Lomror.
Then Karthik.
Then is our man.
Then is our brother, our CB brother, CB Live.
I mean, I'm trying to imagine Karthik goes out to bat and I'm saying, hey, Karthik, you're here. What are you doing there? I sent him a WhatsApp. I said, Karthik, it's going to be really odd when you go out to bat because I'll think you're sitting in the next chair and suddenly you're going out to bat.
So it is looking tricky for them then this year?
Look, they've got the players. They've got the players to win it. So they've got the players to win it. And I still think that because you look down the bowling, Siraj, Harshal, Hazelwood or Topley, Hasaranga, Shahbaz. That's a fabulous 5. With if Maxwell is bowling or Bracewell. Bracewell can actually play for Maxwell if he has an off time. Okay. Because Bracewell is a batting spinner.
Yeah.
So they could do that. So I think they've got the side. But if Kohli, Faf, then they'll be.
Which Bracewell brother is this?
This is Michael.
This is Michael.
Corleone, Michael.
Just checking. Just checking. They've also got Finn Allen, by the way.
Who could come in,
I don't
yes.
know if he's going to get a chance to play, but we've seen what Finn
But you
Allen
could get a
can do
Finn
as well.
Allen on a track like, say, Wankhede or something, you play
Just
him.
need someone to go big at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they need to do well till Hasaranga comes. And Hasaranga is now batting better. They need to do well till Hasaranga comes. Because he just controls those middle overs and takes wickets for them.
They're missing a few key components. They're missing a few key players, and that's why that explains my rating. What about you guys? I've got Harsha has got a thumbs up for them.
The reason I've got the thumbs up is this very side did well last year.
Yeah.
There's been no change. The only two players they released were Sherfane Rutherford and someone who will always have a footnote in RCB history, Loveneet Sisodia,
Yes, the man for whom Patidar
for whom Patidar came and took them into the knockouts.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm torn between this and this. The Patidar thing is just causing me to worry a little bit. But overall, I think they've got a squad that can go to the playoffs.
Okay. Well, that's Bangalore then. Can this be their year? Or will we have to wait for next year? Well, right now, let's move to the next team, which is the Delhi Capitals. And Delhi, of course, still reeling from the loss of their captain, Rishabh Pant, who's obviously not going to be in the mix, playing active cricket for a while now, recovering from his accident. And who they got? They've got a new captain now. Well, not a new captain. He's a winning captain, remember. David Warner has lifted the trophy with Hyderabad in 2016. So obviously he was, the first choice for captain. Akshar is still vice captain like he was last year. So David Warner right up there. But that batting as well. That batting looks pretty solid. And the reason is because Akshar, suddenly the batter in the last 12 months, has shown new colours. Mitchell Marsh, with the kind of batting that he's been doing of late. Sarfaraz in the last 12 months as well. Prithvi Shaw. Suddenly, and I know you're going to come to the Mitchell Marsh point in just a second. But if you just look at where their batters are right now, going into this tournament, and the fact that there is David Warner towards the dusk of his career, who might have a little point to prove as well, because suddenly the last one-day international, they got him back into the team and played him at 3. That's small things, but they got to hurt, man. Just a little bit. You're like, okay, maybe you're on your way out, buddy, because maybe we've got younger people to fill your seats. But you've always just seen David Warner as the opener for Australia. See him bat at 3 was so weird.
Also, he's a fighter. That's the point. David Warner is best when his back is to the wall and he's got a point to prove, and people have dropped him or something's happened. He will come out storming.
Yeah.
He's that kind of a kid. He's like, and I think this team is like that. If they put it together, my only question with this team is, whose team is it?
Yeah.
And the reason I say so is that, okay, Rishabh Pant is out. Okay. So David Warner will be captaining. Now, Ponting, Warner, they know each other, they have a relationship. Now you have Saurav for the first time has now come as director of cricket. Okay, and in fact, the new keeper that they had to get in for Rishabh Pant, he's just gotten Abhishek Purit. Now, my thing is that one of these two people will be running it.
Yeah.
If Saurav leaves Ponting to run it and they run it as they did, I think it's a very successful team, and I think this team has a really good chance.
Very good point. Very good point. Because it's very difficult to keep Saurav. Saurav's views the word Kida.
Yeah.
Saurav is not a Kida. Saurav is a mega Kida about the game. He'll know every little thing. He'll want to be involved in everything. And I don't say from a negative point of view, he just loves being in the middle of it all.
Yeah.
But you've got a Ponting, you've got a Warner. Now you can't have a triangle running.
You can't have a triangle.
Yeah.
So that is the key. I'm just looking at that side and thinking of the pressure on Warner. Because Rishabh Pant leaves a big hole in there because he's the Indian batter.
Yeah.
Now, you take out one Indian batter, you've got Prithvi Shaw. Go on.
Sarfaraz.
Sarfaraz started out his career as a very impish batter for RCB and has gone on to become one of our best red ball, long format batters.
Domestic batters, easy.
He's not become the white ball batter that we thought he would become. Now he's got to go back to being the RCB Sarfaraz again. Is he going to keep wickets?
He has to. Or they have to play Phil Salt.
But now if they play Phil Salt, look what happens. I mean, they've got to play in place of Rishabh, either Yash Dhul or Manish Pandey.
Yeah.
They've got to play one of those two.
I like Yash Dhul, huh?
Correct.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they told Yash Dhul, sorry, we won't pick you in the Delhi side unless you open the batting. He said, "Theek hai, and hit 200s."
Yeah.
So I like that attitude by Yash Dhul, and everyone I've spoken to said, "Who's under 19 team hai na, ye alag tha."
Yeah.
So I love Yash Dhul. Now see what happens if Salt has to keep wickets. I see why Sarfaraz must. Because if Phil Salt keeps wickets in that lineup, you're playing Warner, you're playing Salt. you want to play one of Nokia or Lungi Ngidi, and you have to play Mitch Marsh.
Mitch Marsh
in
or
the form
Riley
he's in.
Russo, yeah.
Now, who's sitting out? Riley Russo is sitting out.
Robin
left-hander.
Powell is sitting out.
Robin Powell is sitting out. Now your captain has a slow start. Just look at the pressure on David Warner. If Robin Powell is sitting out, Riley Russo is sitting out. So if Sarfaraz keeps wickets, then they can leave out Phil Salt to play one of those two.
Yeah.
And I think they have to play Powell.
They do that. Right.
Yeah, I think they have to play Powell for a while. Again, this is a team that will benefit from the impact player rule.
Yeah.
Because I think you can even sneak in a bowler like, especially in the beginning. Because remember, Ngidi and all are not starting. They're going to come after a few matches.
Ngidi and Nokia are not starting.
No,
Yes,
not
I think
starting.
one game they're not.
Yeah, April 2nd, I think April 2nd is their last game, I think.
Yeah.
Their other option is, I don't know how well this Nagar Koti is playing because he's the only bowler in that list who bats. Otherwise, whatever you do, the batting ends with Akshar.
Yeah.
If Akshar bats at 6, the batting ends at 6. If Akshar bats at 7, the batting ends at 7. So none of their bowlers bat.
None of their bowlers bat.
So,
Right.
so Nagar Koti, that is why I like the idea of an impact player for them. Maybe you just take out a Shaw. He won't mind it. Take a Shaw out.
While fielding.
And put in a bowler. The question is Khalil.
Yeah. The
Khalil
question is, no, my question
if
is,
they made a movie on
Khalil.
Correct. If they made a movie on him, it'd call Zakhmi Khalil.
Where is Khalil?
Correct. They've paid a lot of money for that Mukesh Kumar,
Yeah.
who had a very good red ball season.
Very good.
I'd love to see how he is as a white ball player. He's 27, 28 years old. Big breakout season. But I'd love to see how he goes. Because if they want to play that additional batter up there, they've got Khalil, they've got Mukesh.
And Sakaria.
Then you got Sakaria, Nagar Koti, all these guys. They've got enough spinners. So overall, it's not a bad...
I like this team actually, and they're going to play Kuldeep Yadav and Akshar as your spinners. And there's a new and improved Kuldeep Yadav. You're not looking at
Correct.
Kuldeep Yadav.
I think he said Ponting told him, you're playing all games, I don't care.
Yeah.
Last year. He said, you're playing all
He
games.
needs that kind of guy.
Yeah, and Ponting is home of wrist spin. No.
Yeah.
Australia love these attacking wrist spinners. You're going to play. Yeah. And he's bowling beautifully.
And they unlocked him because what happened with the Knight Riders with him for a couple of seasons, suddenly comes to Delhi and they've unlocked his potential last year. So
He took more wickets in his first match than he took the entire last season.
Yeah.
That's what happened last year.
That's what.
He's just the kind of person who needs an arm around his shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not one of those kick out the bags, khel, not that type.
Yeah.
Better.
I love when you do your little Punjabi impression.
Is Warner going to do TikTok videos to Punjabi songs, or is he still going to do them to Telugu songs?
That's a no-brainer. He's
point.
definitely going to go north.
Yeah, he's going to go north. He knows his audience.
He
Smart guy.
knows his audience.
He's a smart guy. He's going to do that. Ricky Ponting said in a press conference that I have reached out to Rishabh and I want him there in the dugout with me as much as possible because it is his team and we want him to believe that it's his team and having him in the dugout there. If they can figure with his rehab and his recovery, if he can come to the dugout, especially at some of the games in Delhi, I think that's going to be a big booster shot to the entire team.
I think
And to him.
Shot to him.
And him.
Yeah.
He's at that stage in life. I know I've said it 3 times on this program already, but he's at a stage in life and he just wants someone to say, put arm around his shoulder, saying, we're there with you, we're there with you.
Yeah.
It's a celebration that he's around.
Yeah.
We can never forget that. It's a celebration that he's around. But I really hope they can make him feel wanted, get him up there.
I think just Ricky Ponting saying that in itself was such a big thing, right? It was not, I spoke with him and I wished him well. It's like, I've told him that I want him here. So we have to figure out a way to get him to Delhi because this is his team. And I think that's what differentiates the good coaches from the great coaches. And I think the good management from the great. I'm getting this feel about Delhi this year. I'm getting it. Something's happening.
You're sounding a bit soft as well. You're not sounding like Gaurav. You're certainly sounding like some emotional somebody.
I think with this entire thing, with what's happened with Rishabh, I think there's just some things just happen sometimes where you're like, could they be playing the final with Rishabh sitting there in the dugout? He can't play, but he'll be there. There's something about that which, to the cricket romantic in me, that just makes my heart tick.
To the romantic in you.
Yeah, just the romantic in me. You're right. Just makes my heart tick.
Totally
So I'm going.
At the sign of the first train, the romantic comes up and then you watch long enough because it won't last too long. But
I'm going. This is me.
If Rishabh Pant plays again for India soon,
Yeah.
I just want to be at the ground that day. Yeah. So that is why, given that hole at the top, I'm a little fingers crossed.
Okay.
I'm always fingers crossed on Delhi.
Okay, so that's you do want to go back, right? You're here for quite.
No,
a
he's
few
from
days.
Haryana. He's not from Delhi.
That's right. So Haryana doesn't have a team. All right, let's move to the next one. Right, it's team number 6. Hey, nobody needs to tell me.
They will be 6th.
Nobody needs to tell me. Sir, Diwali पे पत्ते खेलते हैं, compulsory blind होता है ना? Compulsory blind. Punjab is the compulsory blind at 6. Right? That's the concept. How many seasons have they had finished at number 6 now? What is it? 18? 18 seasons.
He's looking for his producer under the chair again.
Huh?
You're looking at your producer under the chair to
Still come back.
Not under the chair. He's sitting under the desk. He's not confident enough to be using that desk. I'm like, you've got to earn that position. Just like Punjab has to do something to come on the right side of the table as well. They're always on the wrong side of that table. And, well, they've got a new captain this time. They've got a captain who spent a large part of the last few years babysitting the Indian team, right? When the others would be away, when the captains would be away playing, he's the guy who would be babysitting them. And they've made Shikhar the captain. So there's Shiki. There's some good players there, but most of these players were there last year. But the big one for them, of course, the most expensive buy is Sam Curran.
What all does Sam Curran have to do in this side? Does he bat 6? Do they send him up as a floater at 3? Does he bowl the new ball and swing it? Do they hold him back for the death, which is where England used him so well? So they've got to figure out a role for Sam Curran, because sometimes when you can play 2-3 roles, it's not in the movies. Hero bhi main, hero ka bhai bhi main, hero ka baap bhi main.
Like triple role.
Triple role.
Mahan.
So they've got to figure out what his role is. And I think they'll use him as a 6 or 7, as to swing at the top and bowl at the tail. Because he's got to play a big part of this team, has got to do well. Rabada and Curran have to play a big part here. Rabada is not always good at the death. So Rabada at the top, Curran at the death, they'll have to figure the team around that.
See, for me, the big challenge out here is...
Oh, they've got Arshdeep at the death also, sorry.
Yeah.
No, also, my point is that has Punjab been short of talent? Never. Because what has happened every year is they've had a lot of good players. It hasn't worked out. They've sold them. They've always had lots of money in the auction, bought the new set of good players. They've never had bad teams. They've had teams with...
No, they've never had bad players.
They've never had bad players. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
They've never had bad players. My problem is it really will come down to how Trevor Bayliss will handle the pressure from the ownership. Because that has been the one problem with Punjab. Ownership, player management.
Too many different opinions.
Too many different opinions.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to turn around and say, okay, you've got a coach, you've got a team, let these guys play for 2 years. Yeah. Because for whatever meddling was done before, it hasn't worked, right?
True.
So if it hasn't worked, leave it for 2 years, let the professionals do their job. If they don't after that, then ask them questions.
Yeah.
If you try and form a first 11, you'll suddenly start seeing a couple of key issues for Punjab. So I tried making a first 11. I wrote Shikhar Dhawan and I wrote opener next to it.
Yeah.
So they have to play, they have to hope that Prabhsimran Singh carries his form for Punjab in Mushtaq Ali into the IPL, because there is no other opener.
Yeah.
Johnny Bairstow is gone. I mean, Matthew Short, a lot of guys who have great big bash seasons suddenly come to India. They don't always do very well. So you don't know what to expect from someone like Matthew Short. Now, Liam Livingstone, his last social media thing, he was in Lancashire.
Yeah.
Or you somewhere in Old Trafford, somewhere.
He's not got the NOC as yet.
Because he's definitely going to miss the first game.
Yeah.
Bairstow is gone. Now they're back to playing Rajapaksa at the top. Or do they then send Curran at the top? Then who's the big Indian
Wait.
middle order
Even
player?
Rajapaksa can't play the first because he's not there.
Is he in the Sri Lankan side? I didn't check that side. I think
He might not be there.
I don't know. I've not checked that Sri Lankan side.
Bhanuka, just check. Look under the table. Yeah, just check on Bhanuka. Where is he?
So now you look at 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Luckily, that wicketkeeper kid they unearthed last year. He's not a kid, he's 28, 29. But Jitesh Sharma is a fabulous player. Yeah. He's got to have a big season. And Shahrukh now has to have a Pathan.
Yes.
Yeah, nice one.
Because
well done.
You wrote this one at home, didn't you?
Yes. No, it's a good one. It's an excellent one. It's an excellent one. Shahrukh has to have a Pathan is perfect.
अच्छा लगा हमको. We really enjoyed. ताली बजाओ बच्चों. ताली बजाओ सब. Very good. Very good. सो गए?
पर नहीं लिखा मैंने.
But
even better. Even better.
Is it your snack time? Why are you getting cranky?
Just saw Pathan 3 days back. I saw Pathan 3 or 4 days back.
This is what happens when you work 8 days a week, 5 weeks a month, 14 months a year. You see, you're the last person to see Pathan. You're the last person.
Anyway,
So, क्या खबर आई है?
forgotten what I was going to say.
Rajapaksa is
The glaring
no,
weaknesses.
no. He's saying Rajapaksa Lanka. Livingston is Lancashire. Rajapaksa is Lanka. Only Lanka. No Shire.
That is, boss, today you guys are in good form.
Just
The
Lanka.
Lancashire,
Sri
Pathan,
Lancashire.
yeah, you guys are doing. I'm sorry, at this point we have already reached the acme of this show.
Have we? Or have we reached the trough?
Nadir
I don't know. Depends on where you're looking at it from, right?
correct. We haven't
Looking
got
at
to
this way or
Nadir
the other
Shah.
way. Because 6 going the other way can become 9. Can it not? But for these guys,
Some time ago, I was talking about 5, 6, 7, 8.
you were. And you were
Jitesh
talking about...
Sharma, Shah Rukh Khan, Raj Bawa, Harpreet Brar.
Yeah.
That is approximately what their 5, 6, 7, 8 will be.
Okay.
And that doesn't fill you with too much confidence. Maybe Rishi Dhawan for Raj Bawa. It will fill you with a lot of confidence. Then after that, you've got Rabada, Chahar, Arshdeep. You're fine after that. So Rabada, Chahar, Arshdeep, fine bowling. Then Karan 4. Then you've got to use a bit of Brar, you've got to use a bit of Bawa, you've got to use...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Somewhere, Karan can either bat at a 6 or they can float him up and down. So you will have this Karan somewhere there. You have 2 holes in that batting order, but not, you look at it, it's not going to be 4, 5, 6, 7. It's probably going to be 4, 5 or one of those,
Maybe 6.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 6. But there's one very promising name in there. I don't know how good he'll be at white ball cricket. He had a fabulous season for Karnataka. And that's a fast bowler called Vidwat Kavirappa. He's had a breakout. He's had a really good season for Karnataka. I don't know how that will translate into T20 cricket, but he's quick.
Have you
That's
seen
an
him?
option there. He's quick. I've heard a lot about him. I've not seen him, I'll be honest. But I've asked around and everybody I've asked says Kavirappa is a good bowler. So we'll wait and see.
Interesting.
All right. I still think that there are a few players short. Not Matthew. There are a few players short.
Well, what if Livingston doesn't come on?
That's what I'm thinking. What if he just doesn't get that NOC? They're really very heavily reliant on him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't make it, and what a great white ball player. You see how he kind of knocks it around. But if he's not there, then...
Also, you lose 2 or 3 overs when he's not there.
yeah.
So he'll be a huge hole if he doesn't come.
All right. Their playoff chances. Can they make it to the top 4? Here's what we say. Show it. That's what I said, I think.
You guys are...
I'm actually this.
Oh, you've gone the other. Oh, geez, that's our first. Not at all. That's our first not at all.
Not at all. No. I say very low chance of making it.
That's a not at all.
When you say very low, that's about as low as you can go.
Yeah.
Normally, the nice guy never.
This was the, we think maybe, maybe not. This is a...
Yeah, so I'm sort of, I'm not like this.
So
but
then
I'm
at
like
this point in time, you mind if I just take a break for the next couple of teams? Next team, maybe just take a break.
Next team, how can you take a break? You have to carry the show.
The next team,
The next one you have to carry. It's Kolkata, right? The next one is... Yeah.
I've not even
Someone
turned
has
the
to
page.
carry them. It's you. Come on. Go for it, sir.
Sunil Narayan.
We'll take a little break. Thoda garam pani lao yaar mere liye.
Lockie Ferguson.
Yeah.
See?
yes, absolutely.
By the way,
That's what you have to say about
Listen.
Knight Riders.
Joy-
Yes, absolutely.
Joy is saying nothing about KKR. What
I'm
year is
telling you one
this?
thing. I have a very simple principle. I'm saying it upfront out here. I think they're really going to struggle. But the great thing about it is they have to look at it and they have to tell Chandu Pandit, look, we've got a complete underdog team. You're going to be the underdog for all 14 of your first matches. Go there and smash it. Because with Shreyas Iyer out, I don't think on paper they have the strength to compete with most of the teams out there.
Okay,
My
interesting.
favorite player is there, but Liton Das.
Ah,
I love
Liton Das.
Liton Das. But see, they've given themselves... Okay, let's look at the positives. If they're going to struggle, I think everybody agrees they're going to struggle this year. What are their positives? Liton, Jagadish and Gurbaz. They can play around with those. They can play... when Liton finally arrives, they can play him as his fabulous
So
upcoming top
they can
order
play
player.
one of those two, right? Gurbaz or Litton, they can play one of those two.
Or if they...
Who are you opening with? Who is your opening batter?
It's got to be one of Litton
There's
and
Gurbaz is there. I like Gurbaz as opener.
Then they'll
Will you just take Venkatesh Iyer back up?
They will. I think they will.
Yeah.
Because apparently in one of the practice matches he was opening.
He played 4 for Mushtaq Ali, but he's got no choice. He's got to go and open.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they...
Though he had a very good Mushtaq Ali though.
Yeah, but that's all he's played.
Yeah.
So they have to open with Venkatesh Iyer, and then depending on which overseas player they want, either play Gurbaz or Liton Das or open with Jagadisan in case you need Shakib later on.
Okay.
But Bangladesh have a lot of comings and goings. I don't know how much of Bangladesh
they're just going to be
available.
they're just May 1st they're all gone again.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of Bangladesh will be available to them.
First they gone again.
Yeah, and they're not starting because I think there's an Ireland test match.
They're coming on the 8th of April.
Yeah.
They're flexing their mother, hammering Ireland, man. It's just not fair. They're hammering Ireland.
So they're coming on the 8th of April and they're leaving on the 1st of May.
Yeah, and both Litton Das and Shakib are having stellar seasons. They're having absolutely amazing seasons.
This is like Mr. Bhogle's, how he invests in startups. It's like last in, first out, right? That's what you do. My money goes in last and comes out first, isn't it?
I'm not come out of any of my startups. I'm still in. I'm waiting to come out. He knew it. Look at the cruel luck.
We like the Bangladeshis. Last in, first out. Hey, listen, we're all in the same boat, all right? It's
But look at that
winter. But for these guys, it seems like a bit of a winter as well because missing their captain who, and again, we spoke about this on Cricbuzz Live Hindi during the India-Australia series. And Ajay Jadeja brought this point up and he said, in the last 25, 30 years, I've not heard of batters having back injuries. So he really thinks that the kind of training that they're being made to do with so much of the gym stuff and everything, he feels like that's kind of to blame because he was right. There's not too many batters. Bowlers, yes, fast bowlers all the time, right? You hear about their backs getting messed up. But for them and for him to be just, I mean, literally, he couldn't walk.
VVS Lakshman, I remember, had back issues, but that was towards the tail end of his career because he had a peculiar situation. So towards the end,
yeah.
I hope, look, I don't know enough on this topic at all. I hope it's not the weights that they're doing.
Yeah.
It's the loveliest expression I've heard for a while, what Dwayne Bravo used to refer to as Instagram muscles. I hope they're not in search of Instagram muscles.
Yeah.
Shreyas Iyer is far too good a player to need the Instagram muscles to hit sixes. So I don't know if there's a reason, so I'm going to put it aside. Without Shreyas, now what do? Suddenly fringe player Rinku Singh becomes their number 5. There's a big call for Nitish Rana, huge call for Nitish Rana, and now Mandeep Singh has to play.
Yes.
Let's just pull up the squad again because I think, let's just pull that up so we can look at it and see where they're batting, who. Nitish Rana has opened as well.
Nitish Rana has
Previously.
opened, or he can bat at 3, left-hander, he can bat at 4. He's a wonderful, versatile player, is Nitish Rana. So, but in the absence of Shreyas Iyer, they've got to play Mandeep, they've got to play Rana, they've got to play Rinku, unless they go back to that experiment of having a floating Sunil Narayan. The good thing for them is when we do this program in 2047, if some of us are still around, Sunil Narayan will still be taking wickets and still be going economy under 6.
And suddenly we'll be saying he's having a really good season again.
They need their 4 retained players from the previous season. They need all of them to have a good season.
They need Varun Chakravarti was missing in action last.
So the
and
two
what
Vs,
happened was too much pressure on Narayan then.
Yeah. So the 2 Vs and the 2 Windies, right? You need both of them to do well.
So when they did well, Gaurav, that was the year in which Varun Chakravarti had a very good season and Venkatesh Iyer had a very good season. So let's look at the positives. Venkatesh Iyer has another good season. Chakravarti has another good season. Russell is always there. Sometimes part of the furniture, you don't realize that he's still doing well. Narayan has breakout season. They've got either Southee or Lockie Ferguson to bowl at the end. They've got Umesh Yadav. If he has a good year, they've got Umesh Yadav. So they've got Shardul Thakur, who in a non-impact player situation would have been worth his weight in gold. But now Shardul has to play as a bowler.
Yeah.
And now Shardul cannot go at 9, 10 and over. Now he has to play as a bowler because they won't need his batting as much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the other thing is that if you look at it, again, they are the 2 players, Shardul and Lockie are the 2 players they've actually bought from Gujarat.
at a big price.
At a big price. So the moment you put 10 crores each, that means you've basically locked up. Therefore, they were very limited in this auction because now that was probably the first call made by Chandrakant Pandit, saying, I want those 2 guys. So I want an enforcer bowler, he's got his enforcer bowler, and I want Shardul.
Yeah.
So now, this is a team now being built around the way Chandu Pandit looks at his cricket.
Yeah.
And I think it's fantastic because he's had so much success in the domestic. This is his chance to show that I can meld a really effective fighting unit. And they're underdogs right now because really, with Shreyas Iyer going out, you have to say, till then they had a decent first 11, but a few holes after that. With Shreyas out, it doesn't look up.
There's one thing they can do though, which is across the leagues, there's one player who always does well. Across the leagues. He's one of the big PSL heroes. If you don't play either Litton or Gurbaz, ask Jagdishan to open and play David Visa. He's a fabulous finisher.
Yeah.
And play both Visa and Russell because he'll give you two overs. So have Visa or Shakib as your floater depending on the conditions. Tell Jagdishan, you haven't had a great T20 year, but would just pick that 50 over form into 20 overs. That is the other thing they can do.
What did you make of Nitish Rana being given the captaincy?
They didn't have a choice. Who would you give it to? So you can't give it to Shakib because Shakib's not there for most of
The only other option was Sunil Narine.
Yeah, Sunil Narine. And Sunil Narine is a lovely guy. He's not a natural captain.
Yeah.
And he doesn't enjoy it.
He led their team in the ILT20 and they won, I think they won 1, lost 7 or something.
It's not his thing.
Yeah.
It's not his thing because he's not an expressive player.
It's not Russell's thing either.
It's not Russell's thing either. So where do you go then? So Nitish is your senior most Indian player in the absence. The only other person you could have given it to is Umesh. And you're not sure whether Umesh will play all the
He's not
games.
going to give you 14 games
Yeah.
regularly. What we saw of him the other day, he's a supremely fit guy, but what we saw to the tail end of the Australia series was not the athlete Umesh that we've known for last 10 years.
Yeah.
So you can't back Umesh Yadav. Thing is, Nitish Rana was captain of Delhi and they said no. But that is Delhi.
Yeah, it's Delhi. I told you, it's Delhi. It's
Not
the
Delhi
hotbed
Capitals,
of all
Delhi.
the issues.
Not Delhi Capitals, Delhi.
Delhi state team. All right, what do you make of the Knight Riders' chances? I don't know. I guess you've probably figured out from what we're saying. It's not looking.
I'll tell you one thing. If the Knight Riders get their act together and qualify, they will be some team to watch this year.
Yeah.
And it'll be probably one of the finest coaching jobs in this tournament.
Yeah. Will it be a bigger success than Pathan then? Yes. I'll tell you what. Shah Rukh may just be happier than he is with the success of Pathan when Knight Riders goes all the way. You've seen what happens with him. What is Joy? What are you saying? What are their chances?
I don't think they'll make it.
No.
Yes, I think I'm jinxing them. I'm
What?
jinxing them.
Okay.
Oh, you're reverse jinxing them.
I'm unjinxing them. Yeah.
Acha, game. Sir is playing game. I like it.
But if they make it, if Chandrakant Pandit can just meld that together, because it's a underdogs game.
I would love to see. To me, the person to watch out there is Pandit because where has his success come from? Madhya Pradesh and Vidarbha. In each of those cases, Chandu Pandit has said, this is how we are going to play.
Exactly.
You listen to me, I will tell you how we are going to play. We are going to play like this. He's taken the kids and said, "Aise khelo nahi to danda marunga main."
Exactly. And you will sleep at this time at night, you will wake up this time in the morning, and this is how you will train.
He's been a fabulous leader of players at that level.
Yeah.
Moldable players.
Can he say that to Andre Russell? Can he say that to Sunil Narine? Can he say that to those players? That is something I want to see.
All the best telling anybody in the IPL what time to sleep. Right? All the best with that. Because that ain't going to happen. Because they don't sleep before 5 o'clock and don't wake up at 1. But they have to play at night. No, so obviously you're going to sleep like
you
that.
can't. Your
You have to
cycle
keep
is
call
gone.
center hours.
Yeah, your cycle is gone. Nobody in the IPL can sleep. Anyone working in the IPL can't sleep before 2 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like-
Kane Williamson said to me that, I like to wake up around 6 o'clock. I said, not during the IPL because you're going to be asleep in the 14th over. So you better start waking up a little later. All right. So let's move to one sir se other sir ka team. It's Hyderabad.
मेरी टीम बना दी आप
Sir, you are from there.
కానీ ఈసారి చాలా బాగా టీం ఉందండి ఇది చాలా బాగా టీం ఉంది సార్
Sir, I only know one Hyderabadi word, sir.
which is
Baigan.
you know what it means.
I just saw a video today. It
Baigan
says that
is-
when things go pear-shaped, is that what it is?
Baigan is brinjal.
Yeah, that I know.
let bygones be
But
bygones.
slang is
Let baigan be baigan.
Sorry.
that was a banging joke.
देखो हैदराबाद में अगर कोई चीज खराब चल रही नहीं बोलते और बैगन सब से ये अपना गौरव कपूर है नहीं जबरदस्त एंकर है ये बोलते बैगन में क्या है क्या करता हाँ बैगन एंकर so that is what बैगन is. I thought you were going to say चांद बिस्कुट.
You know that there is also in Punjabi also there is a, or in Hindi North India also thali ka bangan.
अच्छा, थाली का बैंगन means what?
Like बिन पहनने का लोटा. Like कभी थाली का बैंगन होता है थाली में अगर बैंगन रखेंगे तो वो कभी इधर गिरेगा कभी उधर गिरेगा कभी इधर गिरेगा. No conviction, no spine.
What is that song? हाय ये कैसी आप उलझन फिर से आलू बैंगन गाना था ना कोई.
I don't know what you listen to. Just what is this?
हाय ये कैसी उलझन फिर से आलू बैंगन. You don't know the song?
Soon he's going to start singing that Anil Kapoor song Batata Vada.
You're happy. He's Anil Kapoor. He's normally at KL Sehgal. If he's reached Anil Kapoor, be happy.
That's right. If I, okay, here's the thing. If I can learn that song on one of the shows and sing it, will you dance along with it? Can you do an interpretive dance?
Sitting.
Huh?
Sitting I can.
While sitting?
Okay.
This
Promises have been made.
This is going to happen, right?
Promises
Things
have
have been
been made.
said that can't be taken back. This is live. Let's talk about Chai Chand Biscuit and the Hyderabad. because they've got a new captain, and before the new captain can take over captaincy, there's going to be a new captain. That new captain is the old captain, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. He's going to be captaining till Markram finishes the series, comes here,
Only one
takes
game,
over.
no?
Just the one game, yeah. So, but Bhuvi's captain more than the one game before, so he knows that. But otherwise, look at this team. This is a solid, no-nonsense team.
Both words are true.
Yeah.
Solid and no nonsense.
Yeah.
There are no prima donnas in this side. There's Harry Brook, one of the world's great upcoming players to watch for.
Yeah.
Not prima donna yet. South Africans are never prima donnas. Increasingly these days, they're very understated. Markram, captain of South Africa under 19, now captain South Africa, captain Sunrisers, Eastern Cape, and they won the SA20, just born to lead, can open, bat at 4, give you 2 overs, can do everything. Klaasen is in the form of his life, so he's going to keep Glenn Phillips out of the side for a while, and that takes some doing. And look at that 4-5-6. If you can show me a better 4-5-6, and how many games are won by 4-5-6? We always talk 1-2-3 as the engine room.
Yeah.
It's incredible how many games are won by 4-5-6-7. And they've got fabulous 4-5-6, but look at their 1-2-3.
Yeah.
Look at their 1-2-3. That Abhishek Sharma, that young kid, they've backed him. He's having very good seasons with Punjab. This year, he's bowled a lot for Punjab.
Yep.
So he comes in as that additional left-arm finger spin option. We all love Mayank Agarwal. If you don't like Mayank Agarwal, you don't like anybody.
Yeah, correct. True.
And he's released from Punjab.
Yeah.
Sometimes a release from
Really,
Punjab.
it is literally released from, Tihar jail. Tadang, the gates open, a Hindi film. Amitabh Bachchan and
Walks
Dharmendra
out.
come out.
Under the central jail sign.
Central jail
Walk
sign.
out.
One guy in khaki shorts standing in the background. Typical shot like that. But Mayank also told me something very interesting. You see he's so fit. And he turned around and he said, you know what? When he was actually playing 5-6 years back, he was thicker. He was thicker and bigger. And he said, I was actually much fitter in real shape. I could hit it longer. I had more power in my shots. Then somebody turned around and told me that it's all about perception. And they perceive you as somebody who's lazy because you don't look as slim as some of the other players. She said, I started running. And he said, actually, I've lost power. But the perception about me has changed only because of that. And it sort of boggles your mind that sometimes we are so driven by, Arey, ye to mota dikhta hai, ye patla dikhta hai. And they don't realize that that player probably needs that.
Yeah.
And he said that I'm not as powerful a player as I used to be. But I've had to change my game because...
All I will tell you is, forget last season. He was captain. He's too selfless. He dropped himself down the order. He played around with himself. See the season before. The season before last year. This was his season last year. Everybody has one of these seasons. See the season before this one. He had a fabulous season, which is why they made him captain. Which is why they retained him. Which is why they made him captain. I am predicting a 450-plus season for Mayank Agarwal.
Nice.
And if he has a 450-plus season, that Abhishek Sharma gives you cameos, it frees Rahul Tripathi.
Correct.
Rahul Tripathi came to play for India. You're 30, 31 years old.
Yeah.
It's like ulti side से दूरबीन में देखे तो कैसा दिखता?
Yeah.
वो दूर कहीं तो भी दिखता, वो था उसको. What does he do? His first 2 balls, he goes boom, boom, because that's his role.
Yeah.
He's not saying, I'm playing for India, let me play safe. I loved Rahul Tripathi when he did that. That sets it up for 4-5-6. I'm saying this is, along with Mumbai, probably the best top 6
Yep.
It's a fabulous top 6.
in the game.
Very good top.
And it's got a serious bowling attack.
Then you get Washington Sundar, you get Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you get Umran Malik.
Yeah, and Natarajan's bowling well, apparently.
Yeah, and there's Natarajan.
And he's injury-free.
Hyderabad's back to remember what always worked for them, right? Indian bowling.
Yes.
Indian bowling always worked for them. They've kind of gone back to that template.
Who's their number 8 overseas player? Now, just see the options they have.
Yeah.
For that number, they've got Marco Jansen.
Correct.
Who the other day, who did he take on? He took on somebody, hit him for 3 or 4 sixes. If they think they've got enough Indian bowling, there's a very underrated player around the world called Akhil Hussain.
Yeah.
Bowls power play, proper left arm spinner,
Great
Very
fielder.
difficult to hit.
great fielder, hammers at the end.
Yeah.
Or you can say, I'll go Adil Rashid.
Yep.
So they've got so many options with that 4th overseas player. Bhuvi bowls well, my favorite. Bhuvi, Natarajan, Umran. They've got so many options. Bhuvi will bowl at the death. And Washington Sundar. Remember we were in New Zealand on the odd day, it didn't rain?
Yeah, correct.
And Washington Sundar is hammering there.
Yeah.
He can buy, if Washington bowls in the power play with Bhuvi, it releases Natarajan to bowl at the death and Umran to bowl in the middle.
Yep.
So I think it's side the god.
It's looking really good. And you're backing Mayank, and I know why you're backing Mayank. You just see, because Mayank means moon. Hyderabad's also Chand Biscuit. There's something happening there.
Sunrisers, moon,
बड़ा Dubai
all-
खाना.
Sun, moon, सब कुछ हो रहा है.
Dubai खाना.
The planets are
Constellation
aligning.
is all.
ऐसे
All
नहीं खाते.
planets are aligning.
ठीक है.
Then,
आइसिस नहीं खाते, डुबा के खाते चाय में.
डुबा के.
और फिर नहीं तो चाय अलग ही अलग नहीं डुबा खाना.
Basically, Mayank भी डुबा के मारेगा इनको ना, कट करके.
I'm big plus.
Hard.
I'm big.
Plus, I think
I'm big.
we're all-
I'm big.
No, I'm fingers crossed.
Oh, sir, इतना बोलने के बाद भी you're not
एक काम
convinced.
करो.
I really like this team,
ये
but I'm
काम
not
करो।
sure.
मैं सेकंड को जा रहा हूँ हैदराबाद जो है उनका मैच करने जा रहा हूँ. आप भी आ जाओ. मैं दोस्तों को बोलता हूँ गंडी बेट का पानी लेके आओ पिलाओ भी यहाँ बच्चे को.
Yeah.
मैं तो आई हूँ
थोड़ा बैंगन खिलाओ.
उसके पहले हावड़ा में क्या होने वाला है मुझे आप क्यों सोच रहे हो?
No, sir. No, sir. Well, there you go. That's what Harsha and me giving it thumbs up, and Joy not entirely convinced. All right, let's go to.
Let's start the program.
Let's start the program now. You guys have been waiting for Chennai and Mumbai. Well, here it comes. We're going to talk about Chennai. There's a few questions that, or a few comments that we will not be making. The question is this going to be Mahendra Singh Dhoni's last outing in Chennai? Don't, just stop it. The fact is that you can predict anything, right? You can predict anything in the world. This you cannot predict with any degree of accuracy. Because only one person knows when his last game will be in Chennai. And he perhaps doesn't even tell himself. He keeps it so secretive. And that's MS Dhoni. तो सर बताएंगे जब करेंगे.
Correct. That 2047 when you will still be here, two of us may not be here. You young man will still be here. We may not be. Sunil Narayan and MS Dhoni will be playing IPL.
Yeah, I think they will be. Yeah, I will of course have to come 5 minutes earlier because I'll have to put my teeth in before doing the show. But I feel that they'll still be around, I think. Definitely they'll be there. Let's look at that team, because what MS does so well is he can basically construct a team with 10 players. Yeah, and
Giving him to be free to,
yeah, so he just has to be there as elder statesman. There's some very interesting things happening over there as per usual. But the one thing for them, of course, is that, what is it, Mukesh Chaudhary, right, is injured?
Yeah, who did Magala come for? They lost somebody else.
They lost somebody else.
So they went in with
Yeah. Magala is just who was
Sisanda
injured in
Magala has come in.
Yeah,
Kyle Jamieson.
Kyle Jamieson. Jamieson.
Tall boy.
Typical Dhoni kind of player.
Yeah.
Like he said to Harbhajan once. Harbhajan said, "मैंने मुझे bowling नहीं दी, इससे जरूरत नहीं महसूस हुई."
Yeah.
So Jameson is that guy. One day he'll bowl 4, one day he may not bowl. He'll go and tonk at the end. Typical Dhoni kind of player.
Yeah.
I've got options. Dhoni is options and futures.
Yeah.
Futures in his, what he knows, options.
Yeah.
And this team has still got options, but they're going to struggle on 1 or 2 counts. There's some key players. They're going to struggle with the form of Deepak Chahar. We still don't know how fit he is. When I last saw Deepak Chahar, he didn't look like Deepak Chahar. He was bowling 120, 122. That's not Chahar. And the other big thing is they went to this supermarket and they bought a cake and they bought a cheesecake. And now they're told you got to pay for both, but you'll only get one.
Yeah.
Suppose you go to a store and say, मुझे 1 kilo आम चाहिए, 1 kilo संतरे चाहिए.
Yeah.
दोनों के पैसे दिए, but you're only going to get 1 kilo आम.
Yeah.
You're not going to send.
Because Ben Stokes, I'll just explain.
He's a two-stroke engine. He's a one-stroke engine.
He's a one-stroke engine. He will not be bowling. That's right, because the knee. So he will not be bowling, which kind of changes things for them a lot planning-wise. Perhaps not for Dhoni, because he just knows how to, he's got the options. Maybe we can't see it from outside.
Yeah,
But he's so good in the middle overs.
they'll still bat him I think they'll bat him at 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, they have to.
I think they'll bat him at 3 and push Moeen down.
Yeah.
So this is a team again constructed for Chennai, but I believe he should bat at 3 because, I mean, you look at when he bats at 7, but look at the number of runs there. That's not significant. I mean, none of those runs are significant at number 5, whatever. I think they'll bat him at 3. Ruturaj and Conway, Stokes. So you got two proper Kiwis at the top of the order.
Yeah,
at 2 and
well
3.
played. Ooh.
And I think then Raidu to float at 4 with the left-hander and then right-hander and then Moeen back at 5.
And
that is what I
Jadeja,
think.
6 then.
Jadeja at 6. I think that is what they. It's just they've got 4 left-handers on
Dhoni
the
will
top 6.
float 7, whatever.
Yeah.
Dubey,
But did you
Dubey
see the
again
muscles in him?
left-hander.
Dubey is also there. Yep. They have a lot of left-handers.
But did you see the muscles on Dhoni in that clip?
The guns are, that's the gun show, right? Welcome to the gun show. It's crazy. That's the most chiseled his arms have been in his entire career. So, yeah, हर साल he comes और कोई नया item पेश कर देते हैं.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying that.
And they're not special effects created in.
No, they're not exactly. They're not.
Effects studio. The actual
No,
muscle.
Red Chili's VFX, no. It isn't. This is real.
Why is he doing that? I think he's setting himself up to be a 10, 12 ball batter, 10, 15 ball batter. I think he's setting himself up to do that by floating. And I'll come in and play 15 balls and I'll hammer the daylights and come back.
Yeah.
I think that is what he's setting himself up for. That's my gut feel. But with Dhoni, who knows?
Correct.
Who knows?
They of course love playing at home. Their fans.
Fantastic track record also. I think they have the best track record of any team.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 71%, yeah.
And when are they playing at home? Just see when they're playing at home.
Yeah.
Most April.
The last 5 or 6 games, 4 are at home. So with 4 games to go, look at that. Chennai, right at the end. Out of the last 6, 4 are in Chennai.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
So you might think they've only won 4 games. They might win those 4.
Yeah.
So, but this Mukesh Chaudhary is going to be a problem. I loved Simarjeet Singh last year, but they need one Mukesh Chaudhary this year.
Yeah.
To just come up, especially if Stokes is not bowling.
True.
If Stokes is not bowling, I'm just looking down there. I'm just looking down what the 11 look like. Sorry, it's still old-fashioned, Saigal and paper. What to do?
That's what I was wondering. What you're holding in your hand doesn't have a backlight, doesn't look like it has a battery. I don't know what's going on.
Who bowls quick for them? Mukesh Chaudhary is gone, so Simarjeet, Deepak Chahar,
And Hunger
Keker.
Waker. I've always got this.
There you go. We'll get there.
or they've got Tushar Deshpande, they've got players like those, but who's the cutting edge quick bowler, I think, and who's going to bowl at the death? Now look at this team and say, I want a death bowler. Who is...
I don't see Hunger Keker in this.
He's there, the
Our
all-rounder.
Hunger Gekar under Dwayne.
Oh, there he is, under Pretorius, there he is.
Who's going to bowl at the death in this side? Stokes never bowls that much at the death, not since 2016, but not bowls at the death.
Yeah.
So who's going to bowl at the death?
because
The
if
bowler who's
Keker-
got the best record in the death is Tikshana.
It's Tikshana who won't be there for the start.
So that is a big problem with this side. Who's going to bowl at the death? The reason I'm hopeful of this side is the aura of Dhoni out of getting stuff out of stone,
Yeah.
and just the fact that at home they'll probably win 5 or 6 out of their 7 games.
I think that's the reason why I'm giving them the thumbs up. One is, of course, that Dhoni just finds a way. That's the way, Mahi way. And that they're playing in Chepa. So I think those are the 2 reasons why I'm giving them the thumbs up.
That's also the reason I'm giving them a thumbs up, because I'm working on the principle that they win 5 or 6 out of 7 at home and sneak in 2 or 3 somewhere and make the playoffs.
Joy, what about you? Still no?
No, I'm look.
Sir, the second half of the match, this pitch has really changed.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
You put some tape over here.
I just think I'm not sure of these guys.
Who
So,
is
one sec,
going to
which means
qualify?
For you, only one team is making it. Just Lucknow is making it to the
No,
playoffs.
I'm saying one team. I think Lucknow has a good chance of making it. All the ones fingers crossed means they have a decent chance. I feel there's a big middle pack that's there. I feel Kolkata and Punjab are a bit behind. There's a big middle pack there.
थोड़ा bearish हैं आप आज.
मार्केट ही ऐसा है.
क्या करें, मार्केट ही ऐसा है. मार्केट की बात करेंगे तो फिर मुंबई की बात तो करनी पड़ेगी, क्योंकि यहीं पे तो है सारी मार्केट. क्या होगा भाई? Last year they had a season which obviously very forgettable for the fans, but one that perhaps the team will want to remember, because sometimes you want to remember your deepest cuts and your harshest wounds because they spur you on to glory. Can that happen this year?
Was this line from one of your stage productions under Roshan Abbas?
I don't know where it came from, to be really honest. I surprised myself. It was a bit like MS Dhoni there. Surprised myself. But अब निकला है सर, तो क्या करें? बंदे में डेप्थ भी है थोड़ा सा.
अच्छा.
मुंबई कितना डेप्थ दिखाएगा इस बारी? मुंबई क्या करेगा इस बारी?
मुंबई क्या करेगा?
क्या करेगा?
मुंबई got a fabulous top 6.
Yeah.
फिर उसके बाद bowling कौन करेगा?
That is the issue. They of course have Jofra Archer over there. I am thinking that, with Archer being there, with Tim David, them buying Cameron Green, the 2 little South African boys might not get a chance. Right?
They can't.
Brevis and
Sad to
Stubbs
say.
can't play.
The other interesting thing is they've lost 2 key players. They've lost the Jai Richardson who could swing the ball up, but they've lost Bumrah.
Yeah.
And they're in no hurry to name a replacement.
Yeah.
They haven't named a replacement. Not yet. The tournament is starting tomorrow. They haven't named a replacement. They're करेंगे.
We'll also see how things are turning out also now. That's typical.
Interesting.
They were actually quite high. Some of the staff told us they were quite high on Marco's twin brother, Duan.
Duan Jansen.
They rate him.
Let's talk about the Indian core, which is Rohit, Ishan, and Surya, right? And this was again in the last Cricbuzz live that we did, where again Ajay Jadeja called it, and he said, "I'm calling it that Ishan and Surya are going to have gun seasons because they're coming off the back of a little disappointment in India colours."
You know, it's an interesting one. Ishan has had blow hot, blow cold.
Yeah.
Is it a double?
Is it a double as well?
That double, only a player like Ishan can hit.
Yeah.
So you want Ishan to have, I mean, that's even a player like Rishabh will not give you that kind of innings that Ishan can give. I think at times he's more explosive than Rishabh as well. But suddenly it'll come back again. So Ishan gives you 4 or 5 of those innings. That's good enough. Is Sky out of form?
3 balls. How do you
Oh, he
judge?
didn't even touch one.
Exactly. How do you
He
judge?
didn't
How
use
do you
his
know he's
bat.
out of form?
He didn't use his bat in that
Exactly.
season.
How do you
So
judge?
if he's made 12 of 22, 3 of 17, you can say, oh, maybe he's out of form. But he just missed 3 balls.
Yeah, correct.
How do you know he's in form or out of form?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that Surya's wife is going to be baking a lot of cakes this year.
Yeah.
Because every time he does well, she does.
Yeah.
So I think if Surya does well, it's a different team. They've got Tim David, who's fabulous finisher. Tilak Verma was a find of last year.
Yeah.
But put all those aside, man. One man needs to have a big season.
Cameron Green?
No.
Rohit Sharma,
He
the
hasn't
captain?
have done for a while.
Rohit Sharma needs to have a big season. And it doesn't even need a 450, 500 season, but Rohit is consistently giving you 35-40, 35-40. Mumbai need to play the kind of game. You know, the best T20 scorecard I've seen recently was when West Indies beat South Africa a couple of days ago. They lost wickets in the 3rd over, 8th over, 12th over, but they just kept going.
Yeah.
And they made 220 and won the game.
Wow.
So you don't need Rohit to hang in there and give you a 500-run season. But Rohit striking at 140, 150 is so crucial to them.
He's been doing that in the last 12 months.
Rohit of India.
Yeah, Rohit of
It's
India.
the ulta of Messi. Messi of Barcelona versus Messi of Argentina, we would say.
Yeah.
Rohit of India, they need to play Rohit of Mumbai Indians.
Yeah.
That's one. Secondly, just remember all these guys you're talking about, Ishan and all. They're going to play 7 games in the Wankhede. They haven't played in the Wankhede at all. Because even when games were happening in Mumbai, they were told you can't play in Mumbai for home ground advantage.
Yeah.
So they've not been playing. This pitch is ideally suited to these kind of players. Whether it's Sky, Rohit, they're used to that kind of way. Ball comes on.
Who's your bowling here? If you have a look at your bowling, the great thing, of course, is that Jofra Archer is there.
Correct.
Of course, for us fans wanting to watch Archer and Bumrah operating together, well, there's another year that won't happen.
He needs to have the year he had for Rajasthan Royals. Remember Jofra Archer, Rajasthan Royals? He was the MVP of the league.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
He needs to have that kind of season. Berendorf needs to keep giving them really good new ball. But they need that number 7, number 8. I've been hearing very good things for a long time about that Mohammad Arshad Khan.
Yeah.
Not fast, but swings it, is a swing bowler. But he can bat at 7-8. Ritik Shokeen can bat at 6, 7,
Yeah,
8.
he's a decent
Anywhere.
bowler.
He can.
He's a decent.
So they need that Ritik Shokeen to play a Washington Sundar kind of role
Yeah.
for Mumbai. They like that Kumar Karthikeya. I mean, I'm doing this, but when he plays for MP, he does this.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to do this. Now, as soon as he comes to Mumbai, he'll bowl this. So, if he can bowl well, there's a lot of promise. But who is the bowler who's going to say, right, me? Who's going to bowl alongside Archer? That is going to be their
Yeah.
bubbling under. It's a team that you're wary of.
Yeah, always. I think that they're going to remember the wounds of finishing 10th because this is a team with a lot of pride, with a lot of trophies. 5 trophies.
Now 6.
Now 6, of course, correct. We're counting the women's team as well.
Yeah.
And then for them to finish 10th,
No.
I think that's the reason why. I think that's my main reason. I think the pain of that is going to just make them buoyant and they're going to come to the top. So I'm giving their playoff chances a thumbs up.
If this Arshad and all have a season like Mukesh Chaudhary had, or like Mohsin Khan had, one of those breakout seasons for an unknown quick, then suddenly they'll become a different side because Cameron Green will bat in the top order.
Yeah.
I won't even be surprised if Green opens with Rohit and Ishan bats at 3.
Yeah.
But Green bats in the top order and gives you 3 overs on bouncy tracks, untested. But if Green can give you 3 overs, then suddenly, you've got so many options.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving them. What about you? You've
I've given them a thumbs up.
Oh, you have? Hello. Welcome back.
I have.
Welcome back, Joy.
I have.
Joy has given a thumbs up. So we have a second team in the playoffs.
Yeah. One sec. Joy, by the way, there you go.
Wait a minute.
So I have given.
So how many? My question to you guys is: you guys have all given 4 guys likely to make playoffs, very likely to make playoffs. How does that work?
Because 4 make the playoffs.
No, but then what are the middle guys? Bane?
Sir, I have to
Some
give
will
him
make,
5.
some will not.
I've given 5 are likely to. I'm not saying that.
You got
it's,
5 thumbs ups.
Yeah.
Now, how did that?
How many teams are you doing digital content for?
So I want to work with all teams, sir. So I want to be. I'm a nice person.
So you're like Kingfisher.
No.
Divided by IPL, united by Gaurav.
Or he's a junior Ravi. Na? Cricket is the winner.
It is the real winner. Joy basically, I think, misunderstood the brief. He said, I only have 2 thumbs, so I can only give 2 thumbs up. Right? What do you mean you need a third? I don't have a third.
Dude, I said 2 teams are very likely to make it. 2 teams are very unlikely to make it. The other 6 are in between. That's what my logic was.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think SRH really good. I think RCB is 4-5, 4-5 maybe. Similarly, Lucknow, Mumbai 4-5, thereabouts. So that is why I've gone with 4 ups. But out of those,
I'm not asking for any explanation, sir. You are
okay, sorry.
entitled to your own opinion. You're defensive.
I thought in a proper democracy, you ask Joy for an explanation, then you'll come to me next. So I rehearsed. I was ready with my explanation.
This is a very dictatorial setup. You have to understand that.
Yeah,
Very
he
autocratic regime you're living under.
When do you think does he listen to us and democracy and all?
Yeah. I just wait to hear. I just wait to see. Stop.
Have you
moving.
seen the way he's treated the producer? Have you seen the way he's treating our producer?
You both are at least getting to sit on a chair. So just I'd expect a letter of thanks later. We've got some breaking news for Chennai fans. That's not good news, which is that Mukesh Chaudhary has been ruled out of this season. So he's not going to be showing up for Chennai at all. So that's, a big one because he did have a really good season for them last year. We're looking forward to see.
Economy is also to do with the fact that they made a young kid bowl a lot of difficult overs.
Yeah. He bowled a lot of difficult overs.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm waiting to see, last year there was one player from Rewa, one from Sambal, one from Bhilwara. I'm waiting to see one player from somewhere like that make an impact this year. Tonk. Khalid Ahmed from Tonk.
Yeah,
Tonk.
Rajasthan.
I want someone from there to just come up and have a big season. I don't know who that player will be.
Okay, wow. All right, but right now, we of course have a lot of players who can tonk the ball in both these teams. Yes, the teams that are going to be playing tomorrow, the opening game, which is going to be the defending champions, Gujarat, playing against Chennai in a packed, apparently capacity crowd. It's not a ticket to be got for love or money. It's like 120,000 people coming in to see the game. One, of course, your team being defending champions, but a lot of it is the Mahi effect as well, right? They line the streets to see him because, don't know, it could be your last chance, right?
After all, 42 is the answer to life, the universe and everything.
There
and
you
he was
go.
born in
Hello,
81.
Douglas.
Especially if it's got a good summer.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, hello, Douglas
Got a good
Adams.
summer.
Did you carry your hand towel with you? All right, let's have a look at the squad. and
No one
see.
caught where I was going.
Yeah, your jokes are too intelligent, sir. We can't do
No, if you're 42, it's a good summer, no?
Summer of 42, the film.
Oh, so I'm sorry, sir. We were making literary references. We were
that
going
film you
Douglas
should-
Adams,
It's an interesting film.
Hitchhiker's Guide. You only watch films of the 40s. We don't know.
No, this was a 60s film actually.
Oh, sorry. He's coming up with the times. Pop culture references with Harsha Bhogle.
The graduate in summer of 42.
All right, let's have a look at what we feel the Gujarat 11 could be for the opening game tomorrow. Yeah. There's no David Miller. David Miller is not available for the first game. So you're looking at Shubman opening perhaps with Saha, Kane at 3, Hardik at 4. Where are you going after that?
After that, I'm going Miller. So there's no Miller. So I'm going Wade.
Okay. Tewatia.
Wade, Tewatia, Rashid, Mavi.
Okay.
Alzari is back. He's been having a cracker of a season for West Indies.
Alzari,
So Alzari, Shami, and maybe the spin of Sai Kishore. He can also bat.
Okay, there you go. So that's
That's
your
my
11.
11.
I think we're in kind of agreement with that 11.
किसी को भी खिला लेंगे
Huh?
किसी को भी खिला लेंगे
कोई भी खेल सकता है खेलने का तो कोई भी खेल सकता है सारे player ready हैं but looks like this may kind of be there and thereabouts. Let's have a look at the Chennai team now. Now we've got news that Mukesh Chaudhary is not there. So, and again, it's so difficult to predict the 11 for Chennai.
The top 3 is easy. After that is very complicated.
Yeah, so let's start there. You've got Rituraj Gaikwad, Devon Conway. You're opening with them. You've got Ben Stokes at 3, maybe Moin at 4. Shivam Dubey.
Raidu, Jadeja. Raidu at 4. I've got Raidu at 4.
Okay.
I've got Moin at 5. Jadeja 6. Dubey, Dhoni.
Yeah.
7, 8.
Chahar.
9.
Tikshana is not available. That's going to be a bit of an issue. So they'll have to find somebody for Tikshana. Let's go to the list again. Let's see who comes in for Tikshana. Because I have Tikshana in my list. And Simarjeet for...
Simarjeet has...
One second, who are your foreign players then? Aren't you...
I've got Conway, Stokes, Moin.
Pretorius might play for Tikshana.
Maybe Pretorius.
Maybe Pretorius. He likes
Pretorius or Magala, someone to bowl at the death. Magala bowls at the
Actually,
death.
Magala is probably more likely.
But he bowls at the death. Last time I saw he was some 4 overs 55. So maybe he'll have a better
Look at the kind of games that are happening nowadays.
Shubman Gill, of course, returns to Ahmedabad where he's got quite a few runs.
He's in the last few months he's become one of the few Indians to have Test, ODI and T20 hundreds.
Yeah.
He's hit a double. He's in just some form. The bat is creating music at the moment.
Yeah.
So I hope he can carry that form in because sometimes you just look at players and say, time aa gaya. I think Gill ka time aa gaya.
Yeah. Wow. Ravindra Jadeja, that's going to be an interesting one as well, right? Because after the last season, everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen? Is he...
Had a shocker season, no?
Yeah.
Also, he was not there mentally. In his head, he was not there. And I think now he's back.
One of the very few occasions where I completely disagreed with Dhoni.
Yeah.
You cannot go to a press conference and say that I had to leave him. I can't keep telling him what to do every time. So I had to let him be captain and effectively saying, sorry, as the player is giving the boss minus marks and saying, now you come and join us.
Yeah.
So I thought they didn't handle him well last year. A rare occasion. You never say that about CSK.
Yeah.
But I thought they were a little unfair to him.
I guess it just shows that everybody is human, right? And everybody can do that. Kind of reminded me of the Jay Leno and Conan feud that happened a dozen years ago on American television. Read up about that, and there's quite a few bits on YouTube that you can find there as well. All right, one key player from each team. Who are you calling?
Moin?
Okay, Moin, interesting.
I like Moin. Moin of CSK is a superior player to Moin of England.
Okay.
I like the way CSK use Moin, but Ruturaj Gaikwad is in the form of his life.
Okay.
Is it a double? So I'm going Ruturaj or Moin as a player to watch out for from CSK.
Pick one.
Pick one. Ruturaj. Good track in Ahmedabad, Ruturaj.
Rituraj and the Gujarat player to watch out for.
Hardik Pandya, always.
Hardik Pandya. Surprising.
I was...
Shubman Gill, Hardik Pandya.
Okay, I'm so sorry to be boring, but my choices were also Rituraj and Shubman. I mean, just looking forward, those are the two players I really want to see do well.
Okay. Mine are Moin and Hardik. So we've kind of mixed it up between these many players, right? All right. So we, of course, are going to be here with you every day on Cricbuzz Live. That's going to be in English and in Hindi. And who do we have? Who do we have as a cast? Let's show you. There you go. There you go. All the faces that you recognize, that you love, that you adore, that you send money orders to.
Hey, the Hoffer's there. Lisa Stalekar is there. We got a new anchor in the corner.
Shaimi.
Saimi.
Yeah.
Saimi's there. We've got the Hoffer, the Hall of Famer. Right?
Yeah.
Is he only one? The only Hall of Famer?
Well,
Sean Pollock is there.
Sean Pollock is a big Hall of Famer.
We've kept the Hoffers on the right.
Michael Vaughan, great Ashes captain.
We've got the Delhi boys in the middle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Virendra Sehwag enters every Hall of Fame. We got, I think, Rohan Gavaskar, Murli Karthik join us as well.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to Rajat Bhatia.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the personality you see on the field is completely different to the personality off the field.
Yeah.
On the field, Rajat Bhatia was slow and slower. And the joke about Rajat Bhatia was when he bowled the ball, which ball is coming at you? Was it this one or the previous one?
Oh, wow.
But how was he as a...
It was fantastic. And two things about him. One is that he is possibly the best reader of pitches. So every time Gambhir needed to look at a pitch at those days, Rajat was the guy who would tell him, okay, this is it. Because he's played so much domestic cricket, knows everybody, knew
Fun guy?
every pitch. Secondly, fun guy. Second thing, he is totally into physical fitness. He's got his own way of doing physical fitness. And he has called out repeatedly, when people are not fit, they're not.
Oh dear.
Because he says it very well. He said that if you want to bowl a cricket ball, you need to lift weights. So he is a huge, scientifically can break down for you a lot of the injuries that are happening now. And he makes a lot of sense. I wish more people in Indian cricket listen to him.
Can you make me wear the same shirts I was wearing 2 years ago?
he can do anything. Seriously,
Give him 2
catch
weeks.
him.
Okay.
Give him
Catch
2
him.
weeks, maybe.
And he might not allow Gaurav to order the food that he does.
He might not allow. But then it's better than Manish Bhattavia's Tawa Pulao.
Anything's better than Manish Bhattavia's Tawa Pulao.
I just want to put that on record.
I'd rather eat my shoe than eat that Tawa Pulao that you eat. Manish,
And then Pommy will come along. Pommy will laugh.
Yeah.
Is the stage all right? Is this because Pommy's laughter shakes
Yeah,
everything?
it's a big one. It'll
Pommy's
shake.
laughter shakes everything.
Pommy's laughter is a 4.3 on the Richter scale. That's what it is. All right. So we're looking forward to being with you right through these next 8 weeks on the IPL, and we hope that you're going to join us as well. It's time for us to go now. We're going to see you tomorrow at, 7 p.m.? Yeah, 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time is when we're going to see you. Yeah, either.
Why doing the producer? You've put him off so badly, he'll probably give you the wrong time.
I was just telling him that I'm going to be here at 7. He can be here whatever time he wants. I don't care. I'm going to be here at 7. I just hope he's awake by then. He's cleaned the place up. He sleeps here. A little place underneath the desk. I'm very polite, very kind, very empathetic.
I noticed that he's also got the red table painted white.
That I did. I've just taken it out of the equation completely. Where is the red table? All right, time for us to go. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much, gentlemen. थोड़ी बातें छोड़ देते हैं, हमें कल भी करनी है. थोड़ी कल के लिए छोड़ देते हैं. After this 1 hour 45-minute show, it's time for me, Gaurav Kapur, to say good night. We'll see you in 24 hours and 15 minutes from now. Bye-bye.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad को 50 एक्सप्रेस पॉलोबोसी स्टेशन नेताजी भवन कृपया ध्यान दो